wondering about you. Oh,
There we go. We're good. We're good because we're on.
we're good? All right, good. All right, folks, no technical difficulties. We were just being over polished after having a nice long break where people enjoyed a holiday. Hope it was happy Halloween for everybody. It was great for us. Happy Thanksgiving and I'm assuming Christmas or whatever you celebrate. I'm told Canadians do Canadians differently about Thanksgiving. That's good. So if you had a holiday or a birthday, I hope it was all good. But now I'm going to kill these fools that we're playing with right now. We're going to continue on with our story, and it'll be great. What do you mean they're already dead?
Notice he said the players, not the characters.
Yes, not the characters at all. Those will live. No, I'm teasing. Do you guys remember, because I know it's a break, from what happened last time near the end of what was going on?
Yeah. We went to Millennium Park because we had to pick up a drop, right? We had to pick up something from a very shiny egg. And as it turns out, we weren't the only ones in the park that weren't, people. There were, after after taking some pigeon lessons, we discovered that our tour guide was a werewolf and he was trying to eat at least one of us, if not all of us.
At least one session.
Yeah.
Werewolves?
Yeah. So, it's not more than that. You remember that girl you yeeted into oblivion? Yeah. We still have to help cover up that whole situation, and lucky for you guys, I had a friend, an old friend from back in the day, that was totally willing to help us out with some making some evidence disappear from the county morgue. Only we were supposed to pick up something from the big shiny marble egg thing, and we didn't do that. So we still kind of owe.
Bernal, do you remember what they were supposed to do?
Yeah, we were supposed to get something out of the bean itself. Yeah, we had to get something out of the bean, so we brought a sledgehammer with us. And then realized how ridiculous that was. But of course, that led to the even more ridiculous situation of taking pigeon lessons from Dr. Pigeons, who has a PhD in pigeonomics. And then I slammed that pigeon into the bean. Then he turned out to be a werewolf. Thought he could step up, red gaze that motherfucker away real quick. Sprayed me with piss.
Yeah.
Well, we're caught up. I mean, it was an eventful night. So I don't know about you guys. When I have a supernatural creature or entity reveal itself that could have shredded me, probably into beef jerky by all accounts, and then decide to urinate on me in leaving, I have to bathe and clean. I might want a night alone to watch some Netflix and chill, right? By not the cool phrase of what that undertone means, but like literally I need to chill out and watch some Netflix and get my life right. And that's what we're talking about. So this is no different, right? But where we're going to pick up is we're going to deal with solid week. We'll say even two. I'll be generous because downtimes we're vacation, right? That's what it is. We're going to say it takes that long. And in that time, we had some people reach out to folks. For instance, Brennan, you left that message for Hernandez, Rosa, and she didn't, not shocking, she didn't give you a reply. So you can take it as you will, but I would focus on the fact that, well, maybe just like I told her I wasn't interested in what she had going on, she just isn't interested in me anymore. Don't know. Could also be that she's gangrel. I hate being cliched and saying that as an ST, but you very much understand this sense of solitude, and you guys aren't on the best friend list. Right? It's more or less like one hand washes the other, and beforehand you were like, nope, not interested in what you got going on, so she did the same thing. Sorry about the pause. My cat's very sociable suddenly. So you got to see me, mess around. So that's one thing to consider. Not saying it's a bad resolution, just it's one that maybe you need to follow up on if you choose to, or whatever you want to do. It's up to you. For that matter, though, I want to focus on Warren for a minute. Warren, what you had going on it's dealing with the fact that it's not a cathartic moment you went through. I'm gonna hammer home that woman being torn apart by nothing and gone, and you don't even know what that is. It wasn't that she was torn apart about nothing. It's that you hurled her at it. You didn't even see it. And I'm not going to say anything other than the truth. The whole night you've been driving back from that, there's a part of you chucked away from you. It feels like you tore a part of you that might have thought that through at some point. and just made a call. And you know what it is. You chose your loyalty for your partner. Former ex-Sabat, you're going to need each other more than ever. And you brought that over and you know that. But now you're beginning to, you get, and it's horrible that you do, what that path was about that you walked in the Sabat. That line that was stopping you from getting along. Mortals aren't worth it. It's hard for you not to think that way. Because here you took a woman who you knew. You knew her from college. And ironically, from chucking her to whatever happens, whatever fate she had there, you're reminded of her in class. You did used to have a crush on her. You did take her out for coffee, but it became a colleague thing. One of those things that didn't work out. We've all had them, right? Professional crushes that turn into, oh, this is too great of a friend for me to muddy the waters, whatever you want to tell yourself. Brilliant mind, great in school, had a lot going for her. You know that she stood to inherit a business. And you remember that was a big thing and an immense pressure to her, which is why the classes mattered so much. And you kind of mentored a little bit, just let her know about how to deal with stress. That was a big thing. You yourself don't know how to handle with that stress, but for some reason, you've always held together better than what most seem to be able to take. And it's a key confidence builder for you to know that that's what you did. But it's odd how you remember it, like watching a movie in your mind. Like everything slows down, every detail about her, everything to go. And you remember how frantic she was in her apartment. Every light bulb pulled from a source to drag into one area to stay as bright as possible. She removed mirrors out of everywhere. There was broken glass in the bathroom. The fact that it was odd to see there were dark parts of her house, but none of those places she would walk into, and she was deathly afraid of them. And then she relied on you, right? She didn't fight you at all. There was no vindiculum between you two. She had ultimate confidence and trust in you based on a relationship in the past. In her moment of need, you knew what she was. You felt that you were older and said that. And you still went outside and chose. Why did you choose this guy? And it hits you. Is it enough that you guys went through a horrible ritual and you were forced to have him in your pack? And then that doesn't make sense because you have more of a real attachment to her, and you should have, right? You had a life bonding loyalty over months up to a year that you went to class to go through the same trials and tribulations she did and to be in those circles. And it was a good relationship, a friendship. And you would bond with her as a human in that. And you knew you should have that with your ideals about how it should be. Yet here you are with some guy calling himself a harmonist, and he was just trotting away. And you can't help but think, if that dude died, would you have cared that much? And you can't weigh it, right? You do a pro and con list in your head. The emotion in you doesn't say you did right. The emotion in you says you will protect him. And that's what I want you to focus on. As a Bruja, it's in you to rebel against that which would hold you down. And you had a response that you're not supposed to have, right? Your chemicals are dead. You're not addicted to this guy in your group. Not at all. All logic says you shouldn't have done that, but yet you made that choice. And what is it that pulled on you? And as you cited, it was that vinculum. But I need the player to understand, with all that evidence brought forth, it's not like you were happy you had to do it. You were forced to do it by that argument. And knowing that you were forced to do it and you had to do it, you look at this guy, and this is a dude who killed 18 people in the hospital because he couldn't figure out how to just go home. He could have just snuck back way back in the day and make it back, and he didn't have to kill people like they were nothing. And you had an issue then. And you begin playing the scenarios in your head, right? So this time apart was you going to the university, just like you said, because that's what it is to go back to a touchstone, is to walk through your memories and get back that which you lost. And you're trying to find you, reconcile that, pull it from the beast. Here's what you realized. Every time you bump into Professor Critias and his 1001 different names, apparently, because he's called Professor Carter, that he's in there, at least now or this semester or whatever. And it's like nobody notices he changes his name. And you wonder how often he has to do that. But when you walk the halls and he sees you, he just nods his head to you and keeps going on. He didn't yell at you to get out. He didn't threaten you for being in his domain. Nothing. It's just you were there, he was here, lots of students move on, and you enjoy the new times. The social issues of equality, the same as it ever was, since all the way back with the civil rights movement, right? And getting reacclimated with that. But in Chicago, it's always been more personal when you get to civil rights. And there are people there who wanted to take a stance one way or the other, ignorant phrases, people didn't explore their thoughts and ideals. And you've been embroidered, filling yourself back up in those old school arguments, sitting down with someone, having a conversation where nobody gets punched out. You feel so strongly that people should be shocked because they vote differently. Hear yourself. What are you saying? People got to die because they think differently? How are you any better than the people who you're fighting against? And those type of arguments you get into, but to most people, there'd be a lot of drama for no reason. For Warren, it's getting you back in touch with your roots and where you were. And you're feeling better for it. But except for this fact, that part in the back of your head still going, it's just food. Right? Last forward thought to get you in that mindset. I want you to remember, people to a vampire may be just food. That doesn't mean you shut out the emotion. A lot of people forget that. What it means is you easily have an excuse as to why you have to feed. There's a driving force that wants you to kill them when you need to feed. Whenever you're hungry, you know you can feed without killing, but there's something in you that wants them to die when you do it. It's a brutality. It's an unchecked sadism that doesn't have things to hold it back anymore. And it's as simple as that. And you have no remorse for that thought. So what does this look like? I want you to pretend for a moment, when we're not on you as Warren, Mike, go ahead and go through a phone and look up the mentality of a psychopath or a sociopath, or pick a serial killer and just stare at that. And you'll usually get 10,001 words describing what was wrong with them a day in the life and everything else. What I want you to do is try to think of that story, or at least those definitions, and try to imagine those emotions and what actually fits and applies to your character, because you're at that level. And that could help you with it. What you make of it, between the way Warren wants to be and the way you want to portray Warren, has to be saddled and drugged back by those definitions of understanding. Somewhere in the middle is going to be that comfort thought process of how your character's now at. Is that a better description than just saying, your dude lost to humanity? Cool. To that effect, for everybody else, I don't have to tell anybody anything save this phrase right now about morality. I just karate chopped a cup in half. Wow, my bad.
That's an interesting phrase about morality.
Yeah, karate chop. We're going to karate chop the cup in half right here, folks. And ironically, I am going to use that phrasing. It works.
Okay, good.
Here's the deal. Just like Horka right over here, I want you to cut the baggage of role-playing your path. Throw it out.
Okay.
I want you to forget that you're on anything called humanity. I want you to forget that you're on path of harmony. Just throw it to the side. But I want you to focus on that you're a being of instincts. That's the focus, right? We're going to change how this looks.
Okay.
The morality, right from wrong, and it's a gray area. We get that. Cool. We're beyond that. Because it's getting in the way of you having fun and connecting with what you built. Would you agree?
I can agree to that.
Right? I don't think there's a solution for that. I think path play is the problem of that. And I've heard it said before. And I think there are people who figured out ways to role play those paths. But until we're there and you're rock solid comfortable stepping on those paths, quote unquote, and I'm not saying you don't have it. So in the case of Brentron, I get you're a harmonist. What I want you to focus, though, is being on the background and the character you made first, making decisions from him, right? He's a bit of a scout, a bit of a thief, like to sneak around and live that lifestyle. But was he a vagabond? Was he someone who just didn't want to work? Is he sort of like I used this term before, and as mean as it is, it's a street phrase about a gypsy prince, right?
Yeah.
It's a negative connotation, but it's not relating at all to the racial epithet. It's relating to the fact that you view yourself as a type of person that's okay to go around and take what you need from everybody else and you steal it, but you don't consider it stealing. You use your charm and charisma to make it okay. Right? Type of guy to show up and have multiple keys to people's houses. Yeah, I've earned their trust. They're totally awesome with me being in their home, using their things, not paying rent. Right? It's totally golden. I eat their food, make meals, wash clothes, borrow their clothes, and I'm up and out. And nobody complains because you're too charismatic and too nice of a guy for them to get that, right? Not making a dig at anybody who may find themselves in a similar situation, but for your concept, it's choosing to be a certain perception. Either you're this dude who's a hardcore thief, can crack safes and break in places, part of a high octane team that drives around, steals into places, gets the vault, and runs away Ocean's 11 style, right? Or you're this different charismatic guy who uses charm to get what he needs and get it going. And somewhere in the middle is that. And I don't think we've seen that side of this character yet because we've been so focused on harmonist, right? No matter what, I'm Sabat, but harmonist first. And it's like, well, trying to get you there, but it's too much stress, right? So we're just going to let that go. That's that. And so that's what I want to do with game. I know Warren got to start, but he's running humanity the whole time. For everybody else, your city events as they pertain, and the answer is nothing. The city of Chicago and part of immortality even is ennui. And you really feel it in this 2 weeks. Like, you guys went through some incredible thing. You're expecting reprisal from the Giovanni and, the Hikata. And for that matter, the Mr. Giovanni, who's your friend, is a better way of putting that. And although we know his clan, we don't know what's going to be asked of you, and we don't know where that focus is going to go. And that was the worry last time. For DJ, you were waiting for the heartbeat to call, someone to get you and bring you up by your short hairs and just, how dare you? You know what you did? And it hurts even more that nobody has called. Not a deputy. Sheriff ain't come around. It's like you don't matter. But then, for you in particular, you think about it, well, we didn't break the masquerade then. Right? Somebody should have been by. So maybe we did do something and it's okay. And we're all right for now. However, I would remind you, you remember there was someone that talked to you guys, or rather tried to talk to you guys about a certain situation relating to that lady? Does anybody remember that?
The priest.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's a certain sign up you did as well. Now, it's not the end of the month. We're not there yet for that, for the new beginning, as it were. But you do know there are certain holidays to be observed for mortals. And the thought is there at all for you guys in that church that should be observed? And you don't really know. And that's where we're going to begin. A night in the life. Once again, you guys wake. Do me a favor and make your hunger rolls this time, because this will represent time passed, and maybe you did get hungry, maybe you didn't. We'll see how well your reserves are dealing for you.
Yeah.
My goodness, I lost the room.
Did you say, my goodness, I lost the room?
I got you, baby bear.
Thank you.
I watched like a Star Trek show once where they called someone Baby Bear, and I've just started calling everyone that. I don't. It
You
sounds
watch Star Trek.
No,
Who you
no,
fooling? What you saw was Event Horizon. I know what you saw. And Baby Bear's on Event Horizon.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Baby Bear's episode of Star Trek in his life, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, Baby Bear's when it goes to the other side. Remember, it gets stuck forever on the ship, keeping people out.
Yeah.
Mama Bear, this Baby Bear.
Little Event Horizon trivia for you guys today.
I love that show. Anyway, so noting what we have here, what's that put your hungers at, gentlemen?
I'm still at 0, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at 2. I'm at 2. I failed.
I didn't hear what you said, Bernard. I heard you say, I'm.
Oh, no. If I wasn't able to feed throughout the week, that would put me at 5.
Well, we're going to say that's accurate, right? You wake ravenous. What's that like? Not having a choice. That's, time off forgot, it gets away from you. We know that out of game, but what's that look like in game? Your character did go through a ringer, right? Why the hell is there a Dr. Pigeon and something peed on you, right? When you hissed at it, and you're pretty positive you barely lived because you still can't get out of your head the claw marks on the inside of the solid steel structure that had fled away. And you know your flesh isn't made of steel. Can it track you? Can it find you? Those thoughts are in your head. And at the same time, though, when you wake up and you're alive still, and 1 night equals 2 equals 3, you're slowly trying to get the courage to leave the house on your own. And that can mean everything, right? And given that you taxed yourself that night and you haven't had a chance to get your reserve yet, we're not going to say you run out to the outside to feed in the nearest mortal. But what we will say is you're in a situation where your beast is barely held in check with constant thoughts of a murderous feeding. And it relates to, honestly, not stupid. You're not thinking dive out the window and tackle the nearest person. But you do know that if you do have an opportunity in a hallway that even seems remotely secluded, you don't trust that you're going to keep it in check. This leaves you with choices. If you have the means, we could try to tap into maybe a servant, maybe someone that you can put at risk to get your hunger, at least put in check somewhat. Although as hungry as you feel, there's your control is tenuous at best. What does that mean? I want you to imagine you've been starving for months. If Bernogle has ever unfortunately been in a situation where you couldn't eat and you were so hungry and it was hurting, that's what I need you to tap into and understand that you're a vampire now. And that beast constantly is hitting that hunger pangs button. It doesn't let you forget. It's not that acute pain that eventually goes away. It's an ever tightening grip around your stomach and feels like it's going to tear your insides out. But that's not really what's so bad, is that pain as much as the yearning, desire for it, the smell of it. You can hallucinate and taste it at times, and you can't get out of your mind. And I equate it to every time I pass a steakhouse in my new vegan lifestyle. You know, you smell it, and your body remembers the garlic steak, and you're like, it's time over there. It's time to put my money's down, and I get to eat a steak. And you know, we got salad at home.
Oh, you got salad at home. Is it a steak salad?
Right. It's a poor thing, right? My beast is whining and whimpering after so long of starving, right? In that regard, I'm teasing. I'm not starving at all. Sorry, my wife. But the point is that all that imagery, how you wish to portray it, it's real. And one thought comes to mind. You have buddies, and they said if you need them, this either counts as the time, or you say, screw it. It's Chicago. You've been here. You will figure it out on your own.
I mean, I think I have the means where I could do it on my own if I had to, but you know, who am I to deny the friendship that's been handed to me, right?
Well, you know, Slappy, you might have a means about you to figure it out. And I don't know. Playing the blues and being in your situation, yeah, it kind of feels that way. What era did you grow up in, right? What examples were made for you, right? A man should be able to survive on his own too. That's kind of what the blues is, right? You can remember old Cornelius, you know, sitting you down and talking to you about that. Like, you can say you're a father, but you ain't really a father until you raise a son or a daughter to completion, so they can handle the world without fear. That's really what a dad does. Your mother prepares you to be generous. Your mother prepares you to be kind and wise. She prepares you to be frugal and to keep yourself safe. And yes, she's supposed to teach you how to feed yourself, but it's your father that prepares you that the world is filled with bastards that are going to take advantage of you, and they're going to hurt you, and they're going to try to do that. And they're trying to mold you to accept the fact that they don't mean nothing by it. We're all the same animal fighting for the same resources on this planet. And they could teach you one of two ways. They could teach you to be an animal just like them and fight for scraps, or be a little wise and have a system where everybody gets their time to eat plenty. And it's a thought that's in your head, right? It's a different era. It relates to blues for you. Remember times of people being hungry, trying to figure it out? It's not easy being an entertainer, and that's your means to eat. And your mind keeps going back to that. What would you do? Yeah, you could call a jam session. Yeah, you could go to the club and see what happens, but you could also risk a lot more for just doing that. But it's completely up to Slappy.
Yeah, hard choice. I believe that Slappy in this situation would you know, try and stand on his own too. Like, I think he's too proud to like reach out begging for scraps. But yeah, he would try and call a jam session together through his retainer, Mason.
So it's real easy, right? You know how to work it.
Mm-hmm.
You call your jam session, and being the scene queen you are for that, you're inundated, right? Your feeding style demands it. It's one of the reasons why being blues just made it easier for you. It made sense. There are always people to come around the club early to sit down and just hear a set, hear a jam session, hang out. Groupies aren't the same. Like, a groupie doesn't call themselves a groupie, right? They're a super fan. They're someone who really enjoys the music and really feels that someone has talent. Often they're people who are too afraid to explore that skill set in themselves. And it's to that person I give you a choice. They're real easy when you call a jam session, you know they're going to be there. Can you give me some free tips? Can you help me out, man? Hey, I've been playing that song of yours. You mind hearing it? All sorts of stuff, right? I got a tape I made. Come listen to this. That was back in the day. Now it's an MP3, and I got a website you can sign up to. There's all sorts of tips and tricks you can do here. You can also feed from the club. Everyone likes to show up early when it's a jam session because a lot of the entertainers tip well for the people that take care of them, you included. And so the waiters and waitresses are going to be plenty. The wait staff's going to be on point. All you got to do is then be out back, wait for one of them to go smoke, have a talk, and if you can control yourself, you might have a really good time. But Slappy right now really doesn't trust himself. There's no way he could. Because that murderous thought I told Mike, apply that with your hunger. You know where hunger goes.
I mean, the club makes the most sense. That's where you would go. And yeah, try and do, call the jam session and then try and like catch somebody outside, maybe catching a smoke or something. Just to
I'm going to see how this is going to go for you, right? Do me a favor and give me that charisma. We're going to use etiquette. Now, due to hunger, which sucks to be this bad, I got to take 4 dice from the roll.
That would put me at 0 dice.
All low as it's going to get is 1, my friend.
Okay.
Call this the hope in hell. Or right now, you can give me a willpower and succeed at a cost.
Man, yeah. That's what it's there for. I'll succeed at a cost. I'll take it.
Man.
I'll go for it.
So how this works is Slappy, he calls the jam session. You do it all from text. Welcome to modern technology, right? And because you're able to do it, a lot of people sign up to it. You use a little Facebooking to get this group going, and it's quiet. Keep it private. You tell them don't bring anybody that's not here to knock it out the park. Oh yeah, Slappy, I heard you got a deal offer to be a red number 5, man. Tell us all about it. Man, I ain't got the time. You know how the conversation goes. And the whole time your phone's blowing up, you find yourself like in the car by the time it's end, and you didn't shave. You didn't get your best smelling aftershave on to mimic all that like you get ready. You're just eerily going to look ready. And if anybody notices, it's in the same clothes you had the night before. You just don't have that kind of time. You can't even think to change. That's part of the problem. Succeed at a cost here is going to be that you arrive to the club and you realize that you're at the side door with the same shit. That pungent, musky aroma's there. All over your clothes, right? You could smell it and it's there. And you're thinking to yourself, hadn't I had 2 weeks? Isn't that what happened? What the hell's going on? This, that, and the other. And that's true. But you narrow it down to the culprit. You got socks and shoes on. And they're the same socks and shoes from that night. And where the clothes were washed, and these are different clothes, and you got that, you're kicking yourself because you're like, the shoes, man. Werewolf pee smells bad in shoes. And it smells even worse because those are clean socks you had in there. And now your socks have that smell. And you find yourself in the car wondering, is it because your senses are more acute because you're so hungry and that's why you can smell it? Or is it obvious? Are you now Slappy Pea Shoe? Are we adding to your blues name? Like, what's going to happen if you go in, man? But here you are. You're able to convince them, and you can see it too. There's about 8 cars there in the parking lot. You recognize the band you play with and hit on and off. They're here, of course, ready to tear it up and get the promise of drinks and some attention, and maybe get noticed. And plus, you got a story about the red number 5 to talk about. What's Slappy going to do in his smooth car at his scene and in his spot?
I mean, Slappy's so hungry. Gotta go with just hope the name Slappy Pea Shoe don't stick. Singing the blues with his pee shoes.
All right. As you exit the car. And right when you get out and start heading to the door, you'll see the bouncer. He's at the side door entrance. He gets what's going on. Obviously was put in the know. You're smart enough to do that, setting it up. This is kind of what you do. But as you approach the door, he looks at you like, are you all right? Tonight's Slap. Now, at this point, you're about 20 feet away, and he knows something's wrong, and you don't know why he would think that. But you do know something else. it's hard to make out what he's saying, right? His breath is loud. You ever sleep next to somebody who really snored, right?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
they were drunk, passed out. That's what his normal breathing sounds like in him trying to talk to you right now, this close, right? You can tell that he's recently ate a nice big meal, kind of comfortable. His stance is he's not going to run very quick. You could probably overtake him right now. And you can tell that because he's not looking to sprint to take anybody down. You could even hear the fact that whatever liquid he drank, he probably has to urinate too. But it's not intolerable right now. And you're pretty impressed you can even notice that. But these are all things to say. You know that he has to go to the bathroom soon. If you could hold out, you could stalk him there. If this guy decided to run from you and you chose to overtake him, which is the idea that is in your head saying, take him now, you're hungry. This distance, you can resist it for the moment. But you can't take your eyes off of him. And that's probably what spooks him. He went from Slappy, all smiles and wild Slappy, to this hungry, staring thing, trying to pretend that nothing's wrong.
Yeah, I think Slappy would just kind of almost like brush him off like he's in a hurry, right? Like just like got to get through, try to get through to the bathroom specifically.
Well, now you can roll your resolve composure. This is exactly what you're trying to do. Keep face, move by, mind your own business. You are down 4 dice.
Time to roll that hope and hell dice.
Or succeed at a cost.
I'm so scared of what the cost is, though. You know what? I can't risk it. I can't risk it for the biscuit. Let's succeed at a cost again. I'll spend that willpower.
You know, absolutely, Slappy. I agree with you. And you do much what you said. You keep your head down. You play your favorite tune, and you just mumble something about, I'm just nervous to get out of here. Just go right back. See you later, Harold. And he's like, my name's Rob. He says something, and you get by, and you realize you're trying not to look at anybody. You go to the bathroom, right? That's got to be the one place no one's at. And an interesting quiz point for you, too. You've been at clubs all the time. The least used place before the music starts is the bathroom. You've always found that weird. Like, wouldn't you arrive somewhere? Most of these people get eating and drinking somewhere, have to find relief to keep going. And really, all you're doing is trying to distract yourself from the fact that you really hope someone has to go when they get here. Right now, you're trying to will them to come to this bathroom, and then your mind's like, but if they come to this bathroom, I have to clean it up if it goes bad, but it doesn't have to go bad. And you're having this fight back and forth. And you hear people, right, out in the hall, down the hall, talking about, hey, I gotta bar back this ice in, I gotta throw it in, throw it up. Are we gonna be at the front bar? We're gonna be at the back bar, it's the velvet, you know how it goes. We never know where the party's gonna be. Hey, Todd, when you're done talking yourself about putting ice somewhere, can you get back and help with the dishes? Hey, fuck you, Greg. Going back and forth, camaraderie's going. It's just the employees, and you can't stop from thinking to yourself, who really misses an employee? And then having to chastise yourself, but it's getting harder to push these thoughts out of your head about it. And here you sit in the bathroom, and you're hoping someone takes a wrong turn. Are we going to try to wait it out, or is this going to be the place?
Yeah, I think we're going to wait it out in the bathroom and just hope someone has to go, right?
At this point, it's for all the marbles, right?
Yeah.
How is it that Slappy's going to try 2 feet this time around? I do know he's a bit of a seducer with that scene queen. Typically, it's very little for you to do upkeep. Talk to a person, convince them to come over, maybe sign an autograph, give them a little lesson. A few hours later, tasty, tasty blood drops, and you move on. They're a little tired, but they're alive, but you're well fed, and being immortal's cool. Tonight, you're a monster. Whoever walks through that door, and it's serendipity, they're going to die.
I mean, that's... Yeah, I don't even think, right now in my condition, I don't even think I could seduce or anything. Like, my eating style wouldn't even work in this situation, and I need to feed.
Absolutely. That's why it's horrible when you hear that there's a voice you can kind of recognize. It's vague, it's distant, and you hear, "You went in here?" He's like, "Yeah, is he feeling okay?" And you'll hear, "I don't know, man. He just kind of rushed by, and "Oh, yeah, I'll get him." And it's horrible because on a sixth sense feeling that blood knows blood. And when your brother comes walking in to check on you, you immediately think to yourself, "Oh shit, a jam session. The band, the blues he keeps up, he's one of your biggest fans. This is a guy who comes out to everything you do, supports you slap like nobody's business, and always has." And when he walks in the door to see you, can you discern the difference between a look of concern and maybe fake you're being sick and get him out of here? Or is the beast going to take just what you sat here waiting for? And to determine that, we have another resolve plus composure roll. This time you cannot succeed at a cost because it's too high.
Right. The stakes are too high. Is it a down 4 dice as well?
Yeah, absolutely. It's the hunger. Here's the thing. For this as well, it is a touchstone. It's a touchstone at risk and in danger. It's also going to impact your willpower one aggravated. All that means is it's going to take time for that to come back. It won't come back tonight, but it's because you do feel that guilt, that press of, oh my, like, how did we get here? And, how could I avoid that? And it's something you forgot, and you would when you're that hungry. I do give you an option, though, right now. I always love player creativity over dice. How would you like to see this scene go?
I mean, ideally, Slappy doesn't want to, destroy his brother. So convincing him that he's like just had like a long night, like, and to like just leave him the fuck alone for a moment. Like, even if he could get out some lie about some chick's fucking Labrador pissing on his shoes, maybe use that to his advantage.
What I will say, if you can give me a charisma subterfuge, and why I say that with the 4 die penalty, it's because you're accepting the fact that you are literally attacking your own will here. In other words, you're chastising yourself in a way by causing your brother to leave angrily, is what you're doing, because you can't get him. If he's more concerned, he's just going to stick around, and you know that. So your goal is to hurt him, to piss him off, to say something completely out of sort. You can go that route, but it's deliberately damaging your touchstone to save his life, is what you're trying to do. Or you're just going to feed from a little bit and hope you can take the edge off. It's a little weirder, but maybe you can explain it away.
No, he can whatever. He's close enough with his brother that he hopes whatever damage he causes with his mean statements could possibly be repaired down the line. It's like the dog thing, like, get out of here. I don't want you anymore, like, because it's better for him. It's better for both of them.
Let the dice determine how bad this is going to be, right? That's what we're getting. Just how bad are you putting that knife to your ability to resist the rest of the shit you got to deal with tonight? So roll the composure, which is considerable, I might add. And subterfuge is there, but that's because you're trying to fast talk lie to him and come up with something hateful. And we do know the painful penalty you have with that hunger. But what this is going to represent, that you have this die, and I want to remind you, you still have a few willpower. You can use those to roll failure again in the hopes that it's a success. You succeed, I will concede the fact that you can get rid of your brother even though you're still hungry and we're still in dire straits, but at least, as you said, he's spared. If this fails, well, let's hope it succeeds.
That's
They call that a total failure, as it says.
yeah.
It's all right. We can use that willpower and attempt to re-roll that, or we can let the dice say what it is, and maybe it's the fate of your poor brother.
No, I still got 2 willpower. If there's a will, there's a way. Damn it! I'm gonna re-roll it.
All right, and now it seems that's fate here at the moment, right? But it's going to be a little different. it's painstaking for you to come up with some excuse where you talk about this woman and her dog pissed all over my shoes, and I got to go out on stage. I can't go out like that, looking like this. Maybe that's good for you and your fat wife, but it's not good enough for me. And your brother goes, Jesus, Slap, come on, right? She's not fat. She's on Weight Watchers. We both are. We're doing our best. I know you don't mean that, man. What'd you do? What happened? What lady? What are you talking about? Slap, you didn't fall off the wagon, did you? And he's concerned. He reaches out for you. He brings you in close to trying to do a hug. You have a choice now. You can use that last willpower. Screw it. Attack him. Because you can attack him and flee. Right? Now he's coming in close and he has it. But the real danger isn't if you slap him unconscious or throw him into a mirror or something like that. The danger would be is if he stays here and slakes your hunger, because your beast now doesn't care. It's screaming for his blood at this point.
Yeah, I just want to use that last willpower and just try, yell at him, even on the verge of losing control. Get out!
Absolutely. So we're just going to scream at him. So we don't want to hurt him, and I feel that through you, right? Anything not to hurt family. I dig that. We're back again to charisma. This time I'm not going to penalize you the hunger. That's what the willpower is going to do. I'm going to consider this a dramatic moment. And what it is that this dramatic moment is going to determine how your brother is going to operate towards you this point forward, if he even listens. So that's at this point, charisma intimidation is what you're rolling on because you're trying to scare him away. And in fact, hungry, let's make this more reasonable. You're beast-like at this point. And that shouting is definitely revealing more about yourself than your brother ever knew. I'm going to give you, about half. I'll give you 2 dice for the roll. Would be 4, but you did give a shitty excuse about a chihuahua and whatnot. Here we go. What you'll see is he'll jump back when you're like, get out, right? As something otherworldly is in you, clenching your fist. We'll even say your fist hits the counter and he watches part of the counter crack. This is some shitty linoleum floating on poorly supported beam or something like that. You actually, it's the ceramic built incorrectly, placed on top of the metal frame, and yet this almost broke from you just hitting it with your hand. And your brother jumps back, Jesus, Slap, and he'll leave, but the part is, he's coming back as he takes off. It's just he's going to give you time to cool off. You will hear someone out there mumble vaguely, and you'll hear him say, "Nah, man, give him a minute. Just go to another bathroom." And he'll storm off, and for the moment, no one walks back in. But yet you have this hunger.
Back to square one.
All right.
Yeah, I don't, because he's not even going to let anybody in the bathroom now. So he's
don't get that impression. The impression I wanted to give you is that your brother left to give you time off and told whoever was out there, like, man, is it clear? Can I go in? He was like, nah, go use the other one. It's occupied. And, he stormed off. Maybe he's watching the place, zoning it for you, or maybe he just left. You don't know. You don't have time to check to see if he's hurt feelings. You just know it happened.
Right. Yeah. Gotta wait for someone, hopefully not my brother, to come in.
All right. It's about, actually, you wouldn't even know. Time passing for you here is not slow. It goes by pretty quick, and it's because you can hear the movement out there. Kind of hear conversations, though they're a little too distant for it. And you eventually hear what sounds like someone beeping something on their phone, typing it way too fast. And you'll hear, cool. Test the door, sees it opens a little bit. And because you've been just standing there, you've been there long enough for the automatic lights to shut off. So when you open it and this guy comes walking in expecting nobody to be there because the lights were off, there's the 2 stalls, right? And traditionally in clubs, they're bad, but this is development, man. It's not bad at all. The stalls are the stalls for a reason. But this kind of lanky kid comes in, looks like he's maybe 22, just old enough to drink, if anything. He's got this chain wallet, right? It's goes into his pocket. Doesn't really even seem he's part of the scene. And that's as much as you're carrying as you're out of willpower. You dive onto this guy. But I need to see just how bad this gets. The beast is hungry. You try to resist him the entire time. It's done. It's through playing. So I need you to roll strength. You're going to include your brawl. And what I want you to do for me, and this is shitty in your part, I'm giving you a 2 die bonus due to the ambush. Oh,
Of fucking course, dude.
What happens is when the beast attacks, it knows it wants to subdue him and it needs him. And when the guy comes walking in and looks like, what the, he gets about that much out of his mouth before you tap his head off the back of the door, which shuts it, right? Right when it shuts it, you vaguely remember snapping off the handle of the door, right? Not smart enough to lock it. The beast is not in that level of mode. And then right by the door where he's at, as this dude slides and you can see the blood falling down the door, you hold him in place as your tongue licks the bloodstream from where it started coming down in a waste not, want not fashion. And when this guy vaguely is trying to get your hand off of him as he's in a daze, you simply tweak it a little too far to the side. And the coroner is only going to figure out if he died from the neck break or died from loss of blood. But from that point, you simply fall onto him. You just drop to your knees, tilt his neck to the side, and begin feeding, very traditional, strategically keeping his body in front of the door. And how you know all this is because when you come to, however long you're on there, it's the pounding on the door that you're hearing. Slap, you okay? Slap, you in there? Hey, Slap. And you'll hear another voice like, he's been in there a long time. I mean, he didn't say he was sick, but he's not answering his phone. And you realize now, as you quickly extend your hand up there and actually lock the door, well, he's dead. There's blood in your mouth. You're sated at a hunger 0, and you're very much in control, and your beast is more than satisfied, but unfortunately, you're still you. And you feel worn down, tired, exhausted from having to battle all that already, and it's an early night. And this dude is dead as it gets. You know, his club days are over, pocket chains and all. The question is, what do you do?
I mean, oof. I mean, I guess at this point, standing on my own 2 feet ain't enough. And I guess I'll need to rely on my friends.
Well, I'll say you stood on your own 2 feet until it got as bad as it could get. Right? That's what you did, right? You dug a hole just fine. But at this point, you can do what you want. Now, how are we going to handle this? The help of your friends. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna call. Guess I'll call Sullivan. Like, door locked. Like, slide against the like fucking bathroom wall. Like, pull out my phone. Like, dead body right there, and just go through the contacts and hit him up.
So Sullivan, your phone's gonna ring. I told you it's been very boring 2 weeks, and now looking at the phone and seeing who it is, I think it's fair to assume that it just feels a little shittier.
He'll pick up the phone. Sullivan.
Hey Sully, it's Slap.
Where have you been?
Look, man, I ain't got much time to talk, but I got a problem. I killed somebody, man. I killed him dead. I broke his neck like a fucking twig.
Well, I just let's roll that back a little bit. I haven't heard about you in about 2 weeks or so. You've been missing, and now you're telling me that someone is no longer breathing. Is that right?
Yeah, man, I just done it. I'm at the Blue Velvet.
Has anyone seen you?
Yeah, everybody
Who?
knows I'm in this. My brother, Miles. Couple security. I don't know what the fuck to do, man.
Where are you?
I'm in the bathroom. Door's locked. Had a bit of a freak out at my brother.
All right. All right, here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna text message your brother, let him know you had a panic attack. You just need some time in the bathroom. Tell him to buy you some time. I'll gather Warren and Ramsey. We'll head on over there right now. What's the state of the body?
What is the state of the body, Bob?
When you look back over to the obvious zombie-like bite wound, because you weren't in control of yourself. More blood was better, and you half chewed through his neck. The blood that's on the ground is a trace amount, but we'll say it's about a cup worth that's spread around. You have some of it on your shirt. It's impossible not to have, like as in-depth as you had. There are some on your knees, but your dark pants is enough to cover it up to any scrutiny, except for the most diligent. And the body is quite dead. The neck itself, you're no coroner, but it shouldn't be at that angle. Not to mention, you do remember hitting his head against the wall. You're not certain how bad that head is, but you haven't gone over to check either.
Like looking at examining the corpse, and then Sully, it ain't good, man. The beat took control.
Can it be cleaned up?
I mean, define cleaned up, right? His neck is at an angle it ain't supposed to be at, right? Is not.
Is it still hanging on though?
I mean, it's on there. Fuck,
Okay.
man, I can't.
Oh, we don't panic right now, right? There's no crying in baseball. I need you to hold on for a moment. We got to make this right. Let me call these guys up. Is the custodial closet in that bathroom with you?
Let me hold up.
It's not.
Yeah.
Right. It certainly isn't. What's for trying now, DJ? It's
no, man,
all right. You're gonna have to put him in a stall in the meantime. Clean up as much as possible. Tell your brother that you're calling your PR manager to take care of this, and that I'll be by with a couple of pills to make this all better.
All right, man. Thanks.
Clean up after yourself. For God's sake, don't tell anyone else. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. And he hangs up. And he'll, assuming that he's back at his old place, he's going to reach out to Ramsey and Warren. I'm not sure if Warren's also staying with him or not.
Yes, that was a confirmed last game session. They co-had the same evening.
He'll call out. He's like, we need a family meeting. Actually, it's not even a family meeting. I don't even know why I said that. I'm still getting used to you guys living here. You guys around?
Yeah. You get a text message. Yeah. ... or answer the phone, whatever.
He'll look back at his phone as he looks to both of you. He's like, we need to help out Slappy. He might be in a bad way. I'm not sure if Ramsey caught you up, Warren, regarding the crazy shit that happened at that Cloud Gate over in Millennium Park. But Slappy's not been in a good spot. And if I'm understanding him correctly, and he'll shake his phone as if it's a toy, it seems like he may have killed someone at the Blue Velvet.
Ooh.
All right. Do we have a car we don't need?
I don't have a car we don't need because I rather value my car. In fact, I still just finished getting the bump off of it last time from whatever jumped on the hood of it. But if we got stuff to listen, I'm not going to ask about your past, but I am going to ask, do you have any skill set that would help out with this situation? Because the only thing I could think about is either putting someone in the suitcase, and I've seen that in movies, but I don't think we got the time, and the Blue Velvet is a classy place. We either get a body bag or we get a really huge custodial basket and just throw him in the trash and hope we could roll him out. But that's all I've got. I'm not good with this whole... I mean, I'd give it to Ramsey, but last time he put some guy's head in the laundry in a laundry machine. So I'm not sure what to do here. I have to rely on you guys. But can we do this as we drive? Because we're gonna need to go.
Yeah, I've got an idea.
All right. You wanna like talk about it as we go?
Yeah, in the car. Sure. Yep.
All right.
It's that way.
Sure. He'll grab the keys and hold on to his phone for dear life, and he'll make sure he ushers out the both of them, almost as if he was like, "Come on, let's go."
All right.
And provided you guys don't Go ahead, Brentron. You're not resisting, or is Ramsey
No,
like, don't
I'm
you?
not. Like Warren said, he's got a plan for this one, so I'm interested to hear this one because apparently mine aren't good enough.
All right, Warren, let's hear it. Assuming they get in their vehicle and start driving on over.
All right. You said it's at the Blue Velvet, but you didn't say the police are on the way.
No, they're not. Fortunately, he hasn't seen anyone outside of his brother. I'll see if I could give him the whammy and keep him quiet.
Okay.
He's locked in a room right now, so at least there's that.
So here's the move, right? We got to find the side entrance. However, we're going to get this dead body out of this building, right? I'm going to go in the regular way, right? Then I'm going to tell someone I'm here to open for Slappy with the poetic rendition, right? And then I'm going to go and I'm going to do a very passionate whammy from the stage. I'm going to recite some Gil Scott-Heron, right? And try to keep everybody's attention on me. And you guys are going to find a way to take a dead body out the side door. And then I'm going to leave the stage, meet you, and Slappy's going to perform. Sound good?
You think he's gonna?
He may or may not perform. That's not the. Yeah. All right. Fine. We'll do this. Hey, Sully, do you have like a gym bag you're not going to need anymore?
I have one in my trunk for
Okay.
actual gym clothes that I'm actually not going to use, much like my gym equipment that I don't use, but you do. So I mean, that's a thing. Why do you want to use my gym bag too?
Yeah, depending on how big it is, it might suit. Or I might have to find that janitor closet. Look, we can get the body out if this is actually going to work. But, yeah. You and I can work on that when we get there.
All right. Let's he'll drive as best as possible, though he holds on to the steering wheel with white knuckles. Granted, he's not pumping any blood into it, but he's just like, here we go again. This is what I signed up for.
So, no, just continue. I don't want to break this.
All right, Bob.
I'm enjoying it.
I'd like to spin. I don't remember what to roll. You got to tell me what to roll. I'd like to do Bless Your Life to be as humane seeming as I possibly can. And they'll try to carouse my way onto stage as Slappy's opener.
Carouse your way on the. Give me an idea of what. Actually, I'll give you the idea. How about that? Getting to the club, nobody knows you, right? And it's a jam session, which means they were going to just kind of play until the actual official entertainment, whatever it was going to open business. You're getting here, you guys, all in all. It's about noticeably 35 minutes past when they actually open. There's a nice line, kind of casual people waiting and whatever, folks getting checked out. And none of you are Slappy. You don't know anybody that's just going to let you in the side door or come in the back. So you to wait in line just like anybody else. That's your first obstacle. And when you realize that, yeah, I'm just going to go on stage and do that, you're like, well, okay. Maybe you aren't going to wait in line. What do you plan on doing?
I am going to try to bullshit security with the exact same bullshit story, right? The plan is I am going to say, hey, my buddy Slappy's supposed to be on tonight, but he's struggling. Wait, let me reverse that a little bit. Did you say that there's already musicians on stage?
There is magicians that showed up for him. You're not aware of who's already there.
Well, the reason I asked the question is if I can hear music playing.
You actually don't hear music playing from where you're at. You're outside, that door's shut. You assume there's going to be some sort of noise and din or whatever, but this is the Blue Velvet, right? This is a sharp, classy place from the outside, right? This is the place that used to be the in place to be. You remember that? I was describing to you guys, the story of Slappy and how he plays the two and why him and Red number 5 had that heat where he was supposed to come, and we kind of blew that as a group, and we're back here at old busted Blue Velvet. Except Blue Velvet have deep history, and more importantly, there's something in your head about Blue Velvet you can't get. And if this was the place to be, wouldn't he killed somebody in somebody's domain? Either way, you don't hear a band immediately.
All right. Well, while I'm standing there in line trying to figure out my end, I'm going to send Sullivan a message. And I'm going to just say, hey, this is somebody's house. In the interest of professional courtesy, maybe we contact management and hope that he will understand my meaning.
Sullivan will reply back and say, I'm working on that right now. I have to at least let them know that we're going to be cleaning up. Let me get the logistics of everything. Just go do what you're going to do. Me and Ramsey will take care of the rest. And in turn, he will call up Slappy.
Slappy, your phone gonna ring, brother.
Yeah.
Hey, so 2 things. Number 1, where are you again?
In the bathroom.
Exactly
Door's
where?
locked.
Okay. Number 2,
Yeah.
do you know who your employer here is?
I mean, Bob, would I have any idea whose domain this was?
The employer, yeah, you get checks, right? As normal as anyone.
Right.
It is looks to be a Donovan Crabtree is the name. Now, I only say it that mysterious because it's something that may or may not relate to Sullivan on hearing it.
This is Donovan Crabtree, man. This is the one who signs my checks.
You'll think about that. Can I make a politics roll for this?
Absolutely. I was waiting for it. You can also net yourself an XP for catching that hook, line, and sinker. And what you're going to roll is your intelligence. Actually, I will give you an option here. On your sheet, as I spy with my little eye, you got high society, brother.
He does.
You want to know who this guy is, or do you just want to see what you can see?
If I know who he is because I have influence with high society, then I'll take that route.
Okay. And now what we're going to do here, it's not whether or not you get info, it's whether or not it impacts your ability to use this influence further.
Got it.
Fair? So you're going to do an intelligence. You're going to include your politics, but add your influence. And it's going to be a difficulty of 2.
Got it. My pool is...
You get an image, right? Now, how this works is you're influencing high society. You connect with a girl by the name of Raquel. Now, you know, Raquel's thing is that she's hooked into the art scene. So everybody who's everybody has a gallery and an opening and does all that. And you let her run around and accept a lot of the invitations for you and kind of be a busy bee in that area. And she typically chews your ear off on a good night when you're bored and you want to deal with the mortal drama. You call it upkeep. And she gives you the skinny, where the new parties are coming, who the new players out of town are, and the whole 9. And you do remember that. You tell her, you drop the name, and she just kind of gets quiet and stares at you. And you hear her say, what about Donovan? And when you more or less tell her, stop, just find out who it is for me, and you hang up. This is an example of you exerting your influence. I don't have time to hear your drama. I need you to give me what you owe. Right. She knows the score. This is an example of people in scene who understand what side their bread is buttered on. She texts you over a photo. The issue with Donovan Sullivan is that it's who he's with. Now, he seems to be a well-to-do guy in his 50s. You know, he's got the demure, almost Richard Gere haircut and salt and pepper hair. Definitely seems to be an attractive guy. But he's laughing and having a good time with Annabelle of Clan Torador that you can actually see in the photo. And you note 2 problems. Number 1, that photo exists as blackmail against her. You have laws. The fact that you now have that photo, unfortunately, puts a bomb in your hand, however you want to use it. So that's number 1. Number 2, it may not matter because maybe one hand washes the other. We took a shit on the floor of your club, but we're getting rid of the evidence of you sleeping around on your husband. See what I'm saying? It's like the equivalent. You hope. In your head, you're like, yeah, I could try to spin it, but like that headache's there.
Uh,
Oh, but sorry. The important thing other than the photo is that Donovan Sullivan, you remember, he's a guy who is a liability because he can't keep his mouth shut about how much money he has. And so a lot of people go to pick him up, kind of add him to their pocket, add him to the circle and whatnot. He's not somebody who could easily go missing, but he is also somebody who, if he wants to make this incident uncomfortable, he certainly can. So just to be crystal clear, you know you have to step lightly here. You can't like butcher a body and leave in the back closet and expect that not to draw a problem here. Dude's immortal as mortal gets, even though you can see there's kindred around him.
ugh. He will. Oh, this is a good one. He will. Ooh, that's a good question. Do I know whether or not Donovan actually knows whether or not he's surrounded by kindred?
Without that, maybe that says too much in the biz of playing Vampire the Masquerade, but no way. This is a situation of Slappy barely knows him as the guy who signs his checks. This is the guy who runs. Maybe some kindred does control him, but
Right.
from this photo and how you hear him talk about him, he has no clue if he's being controlled. In fact, if it is Annabelle, and that's unfortunately the sickening feel in your stomach as it might be,
Yeah.
she has him wrapped around her finger.
Understood. He will. He's gonna have to call up Annabelle. He has to. He's got to play nice.
Well, we're in those rare situations with you got to call up Annabelle. How do you get her number?
Let me see. Who do I have on my sheet? I would like to see. Oh man, I do have a Mala, and it's Senor Edward Neely. I'd like to see whether or not he'd be able to know whether or not he has patches or ties to Annabelle in one way or
You're
another.
going to call O-Ed? Oh, all right. I just want to make sure you wish to call Ed Neely about Annabelle.
No, I have to rescind that. I have to. You know what? Let me think smarter about that.
No, you're good. I'm just seeing if that's who you want to call.
I have status, but I don't know any other kindred on the spot.
Well, what I'm asking is, think as your character. How does your character know Ed Neely?
He knows is through very, very outcasted Ventru situation. Yeah, well, there we go. That kind of makes it. He's not going to be in the know of that. If they're on the outside anyway, why would they ever know about being on the inside?
Mentors know odd things. I mean, do you know the limit of what they know or don't know?
I do not know. So I guess I'm going to have to give him a shot anyway and find out.
So you call. The phone will pick up, but it takes like almost a minute. You know, there's someone there. You can hear him fumbling around or what have you. Several things being pushed to the side. And you finally hear a sort of exasperated, forced, yeah.
Mr. Neely, it's me, Sullivan. Long time no speak.
Oh, Sully, how's it going?
Things could always be better, but you know how it works.
I do.
Hey, listen, by any chance, I'm trying to get in contact with Annabelle, but pickings are slim with the group around me, and gosh, gee, wouldn't you know it? I don't have her number, and I'm trying to get in contact with her. Would you happen to have any idea how I'm be able to, I don't know, reach out to her ASAP?
Oh, now come on. You need Annabelle to help you out? Is it one of those situations? You tell old Ned what's going on.
It's hold on a second, Ed, and he'll move over. It's kind of like this. I have a situation to kind of clean up over at the Blue Velvet, and I just want to be respectful about the situation and all. But I mean, if you have a better idea, I'd rather come up to you. I mean, I trust you above any others, especially her.
Tell you what, how about we meet up? I think you all, yeah, We just chat. You know how it gets being out here in the weeds on your own. We could figure that out. Or is it one of those situations you need someone to come get you out?
It's option B. I'm not gonna lie. It's the gent's in the restroom right now of the Blue Velvet.
Say no more. Say no more. I heard Blue Velvet. Not far. Not from you. Not every big guy. I'm sorry for this. I gotta go get that.
No problem. He leaves me in tension, and now I'm scared. I am scared.
Time.
Why am I more scared?
Go make some popcorn. Hey.
I should have never taken him as Mala. What have I done?
Let's all go to the lobby.
Yeah, right. You ain't told me what's going on. I was just like, hey, we can get some trash bags from the janitor closet. You know, he's already devoid of blood at this point. He's like a big stick of jerky. You can just like pull and twist. And we just need like 3 plastic bags, and then we're all good to go. We'll just go for a little drive outside of Chicago proper, and we'll just dump a trash bag every couple of miles.
This is why we can't have nice things.
This is why we can have nice things. I'm saving you. Is the sheriff coming to kill us because some corpse was found in a laundromat? No, you're welcome. You're welcome.
I mean,
wow.
You all right? Or you
Yeah.
Okay.
I got the door and I turned around and the cat's a cat. I hate cat stories, man. I'm not used to them.
Mm-hmm.
I turn around and he's trying to be my shadow, but he's trying to be my foot. It's in a darkened hallway. So when I turn around and see him, and at first I step in his paw and I'm like, oh shit. So I hop, right?
Mm-hmm.
I hop. I kind of sifted on my foot there, but he bit me. Rightly so. I'm a giant.
Yeah.
Right? When a giant steps on you and you got no choice and you got 3 little paws left, it's a survival check, right? So he bit me. I'm just bleeding a little. It's no big deal. But I was sitting there like, is he all right? Now he's looking at me like, you traitor. You son of a... like, ugh. Yeah, I don't hate you. Relax.
Well, y'all just had a moment.
Oh, he's so pissed. You understand? I felt bad. It's just, he's you get that smoosh, and you're like, yeah, well, that happens. Let me grab that drink order and we'll get going.
Word. I was about to make some popcorn.
Make some coffee. I need to make some coffee. Shit.
I need to make a 3rd cup of coffee.
But y'all can make all that on mute. I gotta get back to the show. That's what I feel after I open this up. I got addiction on bottled water, and I'm drinking this protein drink too, which is pretty dope, actually.
What's the protein drink?
Just saying that. I can't pronounce it. It's like
Kefika Tegan.
It's Tingray.
Oh.
I was close.
I've never heard of that.
It's 30 grams of protein or whatever.
Oh, okay. That's pretty dope. Not too much.
So, but I'm ready when you are. Yeah, it's too. What'd you ask?
I said it's not too much. Usually I cap mine at like 40 to 50 grams, like usually 40 because you can't process all that. That's all I have to say though before I'm done distracting.
All right, I'm back.
DJ's back.
Yep.
I don't think he actually left.
No, I'm here.
I was wondering if we're ready. Are we up?
Hold on.
False start.
He's good. Mike's face is everything. We are good, Brentron.
I don't know why you're telling me we're good. Bob's the one that hits the launch on this.
No, that's what I said. I said we're good.
We're good. Okay, apparently.
Someone had slaughtered, but yes, I said that a while ago. We're good. Let's do it. Mike, come back to this coffee.
Yeah, he said we're good, and no one did anything.
Right. That's what happened. I was like,
crickets. Like, are
Bob's
we
the one
good?
that launches this, but he did. Are we back?
Yes.
Good. All right. So, what is Sullivan deciding to do here? He's getting an offer to meet his mall, and should be a good thing.
He's actually nervous. He knows Neely was his best bet a while ago. That's why he reached out to him. But as his career had gone in a separate direction, he hasn't kept as much contact with Neely every now and then, and he wonders about him. He honestly does wonder about him, not only for his well-being because he thinks of him as a friend, but also because of the questionable things he's done to succeed. And where in the past he looked up to Neely to be like, all right, I want to be like that guy. Now he's like, do I really want to be like that guy? But he's helped me out so far, so he's kind of in a bind, and he needs him tonight. So he'll look over, he'll call back to the three of them on their phones, assuming that they're not scattered. I know that Mike, or rather Warren, had moved up ahead, so he'll give a phone call to all three and kind of just patch them in one by one.
Well, Ramsey's standing right next to you.
Oh, well, then the two of them. He'll look at Ramsey while speaking to Warren and Slappy. He's like, listen, I called the reinforcement. It's the best play right now that we got, all things considering. Gentleman's name is Edward Neely. He may or may not tell you his name, so I wouldn't address him until he tells you. He's one of my kin, so to speak. He's going to help us get through this. Why this is important is because Slappy shit in someone else's domain. That's not going to be good. So the faster we get through this, the better.
Yeah, man, I'm all for it. I'm in the line. If you need me, just shoot a text. I'll be there. Otherwise, I don't know. I could distract security or something.
I was about to say the best thing you could do, Warren, is probably help distract security in terms of the bathroom. Just say that you're his manager and that you're just checking up on Slappy, and he's not ready to go out just yet.
All right.
Man.
As soon as they let me in.
I'm gonna just hang tight in the bathroom. I mean,
put him in a stall or something. Put him in a stall. All right, just like do something to make you look normal as best as possible. Clean up, for God's sake, clean up.
Could you also, man, I really appreciate y'all helping me out like this, but also if you could get me a shirt too, that would be appreciated.
You never said anything about a shirt. Never once did you say anything about a shirt. Why would you tell me this now?
Okay.
Because I've been sitting here next to a dead motherfucker for 30 minutes.
That's too loud. Just stay a little bit quiet.
Okay.
Ramsey, could you get this man a shirt?
Are we still at the car? Yes, we are. Pop the trunk.
Oh, Jesus. All right. Ramsey, you go find, both of you go do that. I'll meet up with Edward. It's probably better if I meet up with Neely directly. I'll see you guys on the inside. Call me if anything happens.
Ramsey will go to the trunk of the car and get that freaking like gym bag.
Uh-huh.
And he'll take the gym bag with him.
Oh.
There are gym clothes in there, by the way, and the bag is a designer bag. It's too nice to be a gym bag, but it's technically a gym bag on paper.
Okay. Well, what I'm going to tell you is that we're going to deal with Mike first. He was waiting in line, right? I haven't really heard what Warren's ad-libbing to other than his plan. Am I right?
Yeah. No, if I'm not going to do what I was going to do because I didn't know where I was at. So I'm going to follow Sullivan's instructions and try to get in here as expeditiously as possible. And then think of something as far as security.
So you're going to follow Sullivan's instructions as much as you can. But to that angle, what is your move here? What are you doing?
Well, when it gets to the point of who are you? Can you come in? Right? If they don't just let me in, I'm gonna turn on the old Warren charm. And inside, I'm gonna buy the security staff a round of wings or whatever the Blue Velvet serves that they can eat while on duty. Or something. I don't know. I feel like I have to improvise. I was put on my back.
Well, to give a full description of Blue Velvet, maybe a little in depth would help you. You've been to bars before. You've bounced before, Mike. You know how that goes, right? They overdress the inside to be a comfortable, whatever this would have been. I know you've seen some rundown churches turned into a hell of a strip club or something like that. We've all seen these places bought on a cheap, flipped overnight, and then are open for business the moment the ink is dry and their permits to be there. This isn't that place. This place looks like it was designed to be the club it was intended to be, and it's to catch your eye from the street, right? The nice opening shows this sort of dark, black, velvety entrance, right? They have these standout pieces that look like the backs of these high-walled booth seating that you've seen in line to give a sort of castle appearance, you know? Nice. They got the lights that come down on it that are a nice light blue that kind of shine that dark blue that velvet is, and that's where its namesake comes from. You see the doors it's Gothic style, right? It's high vaulted ceilings on the inside. You can tell that the door itself is dark blue, almost to black, but the keen eye will pick up the color distinction or the fashionable, and the bouncers are dressed to the nines. These guys are not dressed like, well, you would think they're Secret Service for somebody who pays top dollar, right? They're nice and fit. They look amazing, immaculate, and they don't care about a gender distinction. In other words, diversity isn't here. You'll know as well as anyone that if you're going to have a female bouncer, the point is you don't want to have somebody that's going to not be a deterrent, right? Having even demure of size and a badass doesn't. You're not going to have Ronda Rousey bounce at your club because if people don't know who Ronda Rousey is, she doesn't look intimidating. She looks like she's going to go bake you some cookies. You have no idea why. That's the patriarchy working for you. You're going to judge a book, and the problem is your knuckleheads, your people who are really going to cause a problem, are going to judge a book. And you know that from being in line because you could hear these guys. They sound like cops, right? A gorgeous woman walks up in a nightgown, right? Like she's about to go to some sort of, not prom because that's too extravagant, but elegant is what we're talking about. Nice slip that's there. She's with a gentleman on his arm. They walk up to the door. The bouncer doesn't say a damn thing to him. He just goes to the door and opens it and thanks them for coming. And hopefully their table is ready for them now as they walk in. That tells you people might have reservations into a place like this. That maybe there is a nice place for them to go sitting in their VIP. However, it's strange because there's a lot of guys just in line with their friends showing up. Maybe they're going to get a dance and do whatever, that kind of mix. These guys is a different encounter. Or when you get up there, you'll see the bouncer pull out this small, looks like a UV light, literally pulls it out. It's about the size of pocket size. When he pulls it out, he just asks for their ID, checks it, flips the Illinois ID over on the back, scans it, hands it back to him, tells him to come in. Waits a little bit, gets 1, 2, 3 people, and then he'll stop the line, check his headpiece. You assume it's because of the head count. Either it's too high and they're waiting for someone to leave, or it's a matter of an incident and they have to wait for it. And he doesn't know if he has to go in, but he holds up the line. This is all an act, right? You did online as an influencer, and you get that sometimes you'll have a streamer who goes, sorry, guys, something bad happened to me, and that's why I haven't been on as much or as excitable. I'm sorry that blah, 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 blah. For all you know, this person went to sleep, forgot to hit load or upload on the thing. You don't know the real story, but they give you the waterworks, and it works because a lot of people want to believe, right? And they're a part of that motif, and they go for it. Well, ironically, marketing's the same thing. And in this line, the look of the guy may not denote his skill or ability, but he looks like he could hurt somebody. But he looks professional, and the outside looks professional. So the inside's going to be kept the same way. Whether or not you get through this line is based on how you dress and how you hold yourself. Now, the interesting part about this is you guys don't seem to fit the dress motif of the people that go in here. You know, Sullivan doesn't fit because Sullivan is almost overdressed, right? He went that high venture angle. Like he looks like he belongs in the broker or Wall Street area to go take care of business, right? You don't get that feel from the line. People are out here looking to relax, have a good time, do whatever. And a lot of them are in line just enjoying each other's company. No one's having loud conversations. You feel me? Mm-hmm. So now when you get to the store and the bouncer checks you out, it's weird to you that he does not ask for your ID, yet you don't have an elegance to you or a person with you. You're more aware than most about exactly how you appear to people. Animalistic. Yes, you did the act. You're there. but you fall in the same trap where Warren's like, oh yeah, I didn't change my clothes for a minute either. They don't smell, you know that. But you're literally like, is there blood droplets? Oh, this is a jersey from the university. Oh, I could have worn something. Oh, I'm in jeans. And you take a look around and he's like, go on in. Enjoy your night, sir. And you walk right in, doesn't ask a question. And once you get that done, you step inside, you do hear the music. It's piano music. It's a nice quiet solo of some woman, throaty jazz, playing gently through the club. People holding someone close on the dance floor, a bluish light to show off over here on the side, everyone enjoying themselves. Hot little number on stage, kind of drawing attention. And I'm sorry, I got to remind you, classy, hot little number, meaning she looks fiery, she's compassionate, she's almost kissing you with her voice, drawing you out just enough to be tasteful without getting people to be untoward, right? It's a performance that says you wouldn't be so rude as to be like, nice shoes, right? This isn't how you approach this woman. She's a woman, right? And you feel that in her voice. And so that's kind of holding everybody to their P's and Q's, right? Just kind of minding their business. A lot of people here, these are the type of people that go to a club to enjoy a drink, enjoy a show, and enjoy their company by design. Now, the bar is where you note something's wrong. The bar in the back has 3 or 4 staff that are just there waiting, and they look like they're not paying attention to the stage at all. They're looking up front. You don't know what's going on. Only one of them is saying anything, and he doesn't turn away, but he's looking your direction. And you begin to note, in the wings off to the left where the sign is for the bathroom, there is a situation there. Looks like there's 4 or 5 patrons waiting in line, looking impatient, annoyed, kind of mad. And you'll see that another woman will be brought to the front of the line and taken over to the women's bathroom. No big deal, because they have to bypass the line to get over there, and they're escorted now by apparently some lady that does something at the club just to keep it all safe. And that's what's going on. And that's the holdup. But the fact that the bar staff is just staring over in that direction, occasionally handling a beer or maybe preparing wine for the wait staff to take out, it just makes you nervous, because it takes them a good solid minute or two to stop looking up front at you who are there. And when nothing happens, then they slowly go about their business at the bar, and they easily fade back into routine. Someone's filling up ice or cleaning off the counter, someone's wiping it down, another dish is being made, another drink's being made, or someone goes to the back of the kitchen to get something. Then it looks normal. And just to be on the safe side, Warren, as you're one to note things in the room, when Sullivan comes in behind you about, I'd say a few moments later, the same treatment. Sullivan, he sees you, doesn't even question for an ID, just tells you have a nice night as you walk right in. They stop and look at the door again to stare at Sullivan. And that's when it's like, what the hell is going on? You don't really know what the situation is. But even they kind of get relaxed again and fall back into the routine. Takes a minute or two, but they seem to be okay. Now, that said, you guys are inside. You can see the bathroom of the incident is taking place, but you kind of know this is sort of like a dinner theater, is what it feels like by description. And that's exactly what it is. Raised stage, designed how they want it, at least for the night. And yeah, elegant singing, jazz music of a different variety. The loud stuff might come later, but right now it seems folks are enjoying a little love and a little, well, what smells and what you could see, steak.
I'll just lean over to Sullivan or approach him if we're not already close, and I'll just say, hey, something's off with staff. People here seem to be having a good time, man. But have you noticed they kind of single us out a little bit?
It's not like we exactly fit in. I didn't intend on coming here tonight, or I might have changed my outfit, but we're kind of flexing a little.
Yeah, but there's not fitting in like your clothes don't fit the motif, and then there's not fitting in like your pictures behind the bar. You know what I mean?
Oh, that, right. So remember the whole we're trying to rebuild our reputation thing?
Uh-huh.
They kind of know who you and Ramsey are. I wouldn't be surprised if you ended up being on a Chuck E. Cheese poster at one point or another saying, don't let these guys in.
Right as you drop that bomb, you'll see that a wait staff will walk over to you. And it's a kind enough woman. She's rather peppy, but definitely knows where she is, lay of the land, right? Someone who probably worked here for several years and says, hey, welcome to the Blue Velvet, gentlemen. Now, just so you know, it is reservation typically for the restaurant, and you guys are here a little early, right after open, Well, I mean, let me say this. It doesn't seem you're here for the music, and it doesn't seem you're here for the food. So maybe you're here for the, after hours are 10 o'clock on. We're open from 4 to 10 for the steakhouse, and get a little shrimp, a little food, and a little whatnot. And you're welcome to try it or not and enjoy a drink. But to do that portion, we kind of got to find you a place to stay. Now, you're welcome to go up to the bar. You can stand there and kind of hang out. I know it's a little kind of on stage, right? Because you're right there, but you can enjoy the music there. Plenty of stools to get by on, and you can relax until a table opens up. Maybe someone cancels.
Thank you, ma'am. You're more than courteous. I'll follow you to the bar. Absolutely.
Sure. And before we do that, just out of curiosity, do you guys remember where DB Cooper's plane crashed?
Do I, Bob? I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
That's exactly how I'd take it.
I would say somewhere in Washington, maybe.
I'm trying to find out whether or not I probably understand. Would it be something I would either be able to see either through Streetwise or maybe etiquette for the location to see whether or not it's a distinction?
Because of the fact that you have a thing called etiquette, and to a degree that you might be able to figure something out. I'll allow to roll. Here we're going to do a wits insight, which I think this is exactly what that's used for. And we're going to see if you can maybe see what the hell this is about. Why we're not giving it to Warren, Mike, on the back end, even if you ask for it, is because Warren lacks the human cues to pick up on that social grace to really know other than directly. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
It's a little too far left for you to get that. Sullivan has a chance in hell to notice she asked and you didn't give her something that she was looking for or just checking for. But to that end, maybe you get it.
Right.
It's the 3 difficulty.
3 difficulty, so be it. That is no buenos. I would like to attempt reroll, otherwise it's going to be bad news bears.
You can also succeed at the cost, sir.
I will take the success at cost.
Okay. Now, what happens is you talk about DB Cooper and you begin to say, well, the money he took and what happened, where he was kind of a misnomer. The lines weren't decided where the crime happened. Hard to do when you don't get the evidence either, right? So as you start bringing all this up, she's like, look, it's, you either know it or you don't, right? Like, I think you can get what's going on here and you just don't know. It's okay. So we're going to do that. Why I call this success as a cost? Because it tells you that there's something you were supposed to know, but you didn't. And now you have her undivided attention for the moment. As she's paused to engage in debate to calm you down, even though Warren's like, are we going to the bar?
He'll look to Warren. He'll be like, listen, you I know you have to use the restroom. I'll head to the bar. I'll see you there in a bit.
Okay.
And he will start walking to the bar, hopefully drawing with him his hostess.
All right. For the ST note here, I'd like to help you out. And I can't, because that's what succeeding as a cost means. It's not giveaway shot to spite, but it was kind of fun. I'm sorry, I have mischievous habits I have to break. We'll let that be what it is, as you head to the bar. You get to the bar and kind of get settled in. Of course, they ask what you're drinking and whatnot. But you'll notice something. When you sit down in the bar and ask what you're drinking, she'll say, yes, you can serve them. And they walk off. And the bartender's like, yeah, absolutely. Hey, what are you drinking?
He'll simply order an old fashioned.
You? Nah, no way. Listen, you look like a Scotch guy. Am I wrong?
I mean, you're not wrong, but I considering the type of evening, I think I'd figured I'd try something new. But hey, if you think it's Scotch, I'm going to go with your recommendation.
Hey, I can bust out the old lady drinks, the best of them, am I right? But the Scotch is good here. Trust me, it's top shelf and it's at a decent price.
He's like, well, upon your recommendation.
Tell you what, I'm gonna be a sweetheart too because I like good look. And he'll turn around and go back with a sly wink. Don't need a real indicator insight to know what that is. Whether the guy's into you or he's just flirting because he flirts with everyone, you can't tell. But you'll see he'll go and start making the drink promptly. Obviously, there's a queue of people, and he just lets everybody else kind of work around him for a few seconds. And about a minute, minute and a half, he comes back with the drink. He goes, "Now, I couldn't figure it out. Either you're a guy who likes the rocks, or you just leave that for everybody else's poor excuses. But I'll let you make a choice. You hardcore or are we smooth?"
We're drinking a neat.
Being a tough guy, huh? No problem. And he'll pour you about half a cup of a highball, and he'll smile. I think that'll do you for now. This is on me, for starters. I haven't seen you around here before.
He'll take a quick look around. He's like, it's probably because I come a little bit later than usual, and I don't tend to come around as much and early. You always got to put yourself in demand, otherwise you miss all of this.
Well, sweetie, don't let me make you feel uncomfortable, right? I get it. You need to know what's going on here right now, or since your first time, you need me to give you the lay of the land, or are you comfortable where you're at?
I mean, I'm not going to stop you from letting me know certain things. If you'd be more than willing, and he'll just kind of put the drink to his lips and start feigning a sip.
It's real simple. I saw your friend walk off to the bathroom there. It's going to be a long wait. Long story short, it's a bar. We have drama started up early. You know who Slappy is, the blues singer?
He
Really
says,
plays the trombone, but he does a little bit of everything, I'd say.
I do.
Well, Slap came in and apparently, if you ask me, got on the wrong stuff and tried to do a set and it's not working out, kind of panic attack. His brother's over there real worried, so he was acting out of sort. And apparently, another guy went in there, and some lady swears up and down her boyfriend went in there and hasn't been out in almost an hour. And so they're like looking to get the cops. Should they get the cops because the door's locked? But we know Slappy's in there. Blah blah blah. You get that. So why I say all that? Don't hold that against us, right? It takes all kinds. He's not normally like that and a straight guy, but the life of business does that. Entertainment anyway. But there is another bathroom downstairs that opens up after 10 o'clock. Ignore the kind of self 12-step program setting that's down there. I jokingly say that because it looks like people take votes in very fancy seating. It's because we didn't clean up from the last performance that was there. Some sort of art piece that was shown, and it's not for us typically anyway. But after hours, I go home, so it's a good gig like that. But the important part is, got to go to the bathroom. It's open down there. You go in; they're huge, good stalls, comfortable, whatever. But that's where you go for that. So if you want to go tell your friend, you can do that. Obviously, not controlling it. On stage right now, we have some Chicago local blues performers, and they're world renowned. Is how it is. That's what's cool about tonight. Slappy has that kind of pull, and they agreed to come here to put stuff on stage because they're here to play with Slappy, but they're also kind of trying to cover for him, right? So they're now agreeing to be the entertainment to stall people, is what it is. So, but right now, the steak is actually, it's always good, but you can get all sorts here. I recommend the porterhouse myself. I find that of the gorging variety, it's good to have a little take home. And they use garlic right too. If you like that butter, they sear it correctly. I could recommend that. The shrimp cocktail, the sauce is a little powerful, but if you can get by with one or two, you're okay. The sides, though, that's where we kind of take you for all you're worth. Nobody pays $15 for a side of broccoli. That's like maybe a cup or two. I don't care how tasty. That's sort of what we do, though, right? Make the steak appealing and affordable, make the drinks, keep them pouring, but ultimately you get drunker, you want a snack, you don't want a meal, and people don't think about that.
Right.
They buy a lot of the sides.
You know what? Start me off with a shrimp cocktail. Let me go ahead and check an old Slap and start getting him moving there. I don't want to have him be an inconvenience. After all, he'll, take a look at the drink and once again place it against his lips. And he's like, there, people came for entertainment. Let me go ahead and take care of that with him. I appreciate you, though.
He'll put punch in the order on the other side looking at you, and he's like, it's weird this whole time. I'm shocked you don't remember me.
He'll raise a brow at that. Does he remember him?
You have no idea what this guy's talking about.
He'll he'll be like, might just be me. And he'll take a look at his drink and he'll be like, there's a very real possibility, like I said, that I don't show up often. I'm not going to say otherwise, but I myself have a problem every now and then trying to remember after a night of partying.
I did get a haircut, so I don't know. That does happen. I typically keep it long, but I decided to kind of get fitted uniform. I'll tell you what. I'll take a napkin, put it on the counter. He goes, let me put my name on here. Let me see if you remember it. And maybe that'll trigger it. I have some pretty unique handwriting. And this guy folds on the napkin and hands it to you. And he goes, I'm going to go put your order in. I mean, I did here, but that's just the bill. I'm going to put the receipt on the counter. Card, cash, whatever your choice. I'm going to go back there and make sure they get it in, though, ahead of the time.
Sure. And he'll take the napkin and take a look at it.
You open it up and it says, call me. He puts down there that his name is Andrew. Nothing else.
Got it. Well, you'll take Andrew's number. And he'll knock gently on the table before walking towards the bathroom.
Okay. Two-handle Ramsey with a very different feel altogether.
Uh-huh.
You got this bag under your arm, right? If I heard correctly.
Yeah.
And you're standing in line. And you're just going to go up and be like, how's it going? Well, it's your moment of truth, buddy. You get all the way up there and you got this gym bag under your arm. And the bouncer raises an eyebrow and looks at you. Can I help you? Sure.
Yeah, Slappy had a situation and needs a change of clothes. He's the one holding up the line in the bathroom in there.
Yeah?
He's got a change of clothes and his apparently his panic attack pills.
Panic attack and you got to change the clothes in that gym bag you pulled out of the trunk, huh?
Yeah, where do you keep your gym bag?
I will open it up, guy. I mean, that's a sizable gym bag.
Yeah, he'll open it up to show the clothes that are in there.
So if you could, just move it around for me, sir. Kind of empty the pockets, show us that.
Yeah.
He'll take a look to his satisfaction. Obviously, you don't have anything in there. But whatever clothes you think Slappy would have in that bag, which you haven't disclosed to me. This is whose gym bag and what is in the gym bag?
This is Sully's gym bag worth of Sully's workout clothes. There's hopefully at least a shirt in there.
So
it's not bloody.
You can yell at Sully about this. Sully doesn't have stuff that's not wrapped in plastic in that gym bag. It's for show. Like you show up with stuff that's off the rack, folded still.
I should have checked it. I should have checked
around the cardboard with right.
Oh,
so you're
God damn it, Sully!
You're check it out, and it's designer chic. It's badass, right? It's got Reebok on part of it with the anti-sweat gear and the whole nine. And this guy's like, you said for Slappy, right?
Well, it's for Slappy. His PR guy bought it. Apparently, this is his new workout. I don't know if he's trying to say something about Sully's physique.
Look, just he grabs the bag and hangs on to it. I'll make sure it gets to him.
Oh, he's not letting me in.
Absolutely. He takes the bag and it's probably too weird for him. And he's like, I appreciate you coming by.
Yeah, no. Can I? God. Yeah, I wanna get into this, but I don't know. I don't know what to say. Is it possible Ramsey does? Could I make a manipulation subterfuge to convince him to let me through?
You certainly could, provided Ramsey has a hope in hell of convincing a guy he just. Here was my plan, and it doesn't seem it's working, right? Which is what your guy's all about.
Yeah.
What's the problem with it? Go ahead and roll your dice. I'm taking 2 away. This is because he's well aware of what's going on, what's in the club, and what the situation is. They were told the story and told to sit tight. This is why nobody's panicking, nobody's flipping out. I'm like, Brentron, no. But Ramsey isn't approaching like that, and his PR guy, we're talking about doesn't seem like you know who Slappy is at all. Right? Slappy's a blues guy that performs in the club, and he's well known here.
Uh-huh.
And his PR guy is the club owner. Right? He's someone that goes in the marquee, comes out with the invites. That's Slappy. Right?
I thought Sully was saying that about him. All right.
Right, but this is my point. Ramsey has no idea
yeah.
about how important Slappy is here. But you just learned that he is important, and you have this bag in his story. So this dude's not like, no, it's not happening. It's hard. His hackles are raised if it helps you. So 2-die penalty, but go ahead and roll and see how we do.
2 successes out of my 2 pool.
This guy will look at you. Says, "Here, what I'm going to do. You're full of shit. I know you're full of shit. I'm going to let you know that up front, but you're on notice. It doesn't stop you from going in. Enjoy the steak, get a table, enjoy the show. Do anything different, we're going to have to re-evaluate the clothes you brought. Now, I'm going to take it on good faith. You're not armed?
No.
All right. I can't ask you to show, but don't give suspicion. I won't even go that far. Have a nice night.
Yeah, you too. And he'll head on side.
Now,
inside.
Different than those two, as you're coming across the floor, Sullivan, you see Ramsey at the door. There's no one staring at you from the bar at all, for that matter, to let you know, Ramsey. What you do see is that one of the door guys who apparently were doing coat check-in comes from the back, comes walking up, and he stands by you. Right? So you're standing out there, you're looking at the room and what's going on, and there's a guy who comes up, stands behind you. Sullivan, you'll catch him, check his earpiece, and he just crosses his arms gently in front of him and stands there. It's clear he's up there because, well, Ramsey just walked in the door.
Yeah. So what I'll do is, I'm assuming I see Warren walking somewhere. I'll go get a table since I was told to, and I'll put that on like the booth, like closest to like the end of the table, so one of them can grab it. Because apparently I'm being watched, and we don't want me moving a body if I'm being watched.
So you're looking around for a table. There's people at tables, right? There isn't an open table. You know, it either has like a group of people sitting fine, folks eating, or it has 1 or 2 people there enjoying their night out, or it's just a guy sitting down waiting for somebody, you know, or it's just a woman there waiting for somebody to get back. You really take your pick, but you notice that this is it's a pretty busy restaurant they got in here, and for what's going on, and it'll dawn on you, right? No one approached you, but then again, the bouncer checked, and maybe when you get here, someone greets you. And what you can see is, yeah, there's a girl who just gets done putting down drinks for someone and comes making a point to make a beeline for you.
Then I'll wait for her to approach.
She goes, "Hey, sir, I don't know, it's reservations. You have a reservation here? Are you looking for somebody you have a reservation with?"
Yeah, I'm here to meet Sully and Slappy.
Who?
Sully and Slappy. I got his stuff he needed.
Yeah, go check with the bouncer in front. Just tell him what you told me.
I did. He sent me inside. Told me to
Sure.
get a table.
So he'll make a gesture for somebody to come over there.
Uh-huh.
And that bouncer was waiting there for you, will come walking over. And you'll just hear him smooth, "Is there a problem?" And she'll go, "Yeah, he asked for Sullivan and Slappy. I don't know who Sullivan is." And Slappy, well, we know what the deal is with him. We were like all told before it opened. So I got tables to take care of. It's on you? He's like, "Yeah, I got it." He goes, "Hey, a friend of Sullivan and Slappy, how about you step over here?" And he'll bring you towards the front, or try to. He says, "Well, you got a choice. You can leave quietly, go out to the parking lot or whatever, text your friend who gets to eat a good dinner tonight and call it a day. But we don't do well with gate crashers. This is a literal. You're either on the docket, you know what to do when you get here, you don't. But folks came here to enjoy music, enjoy themselves, and have a decent time. You're not dressed to be here. Who knows if you know who you say you know, or whoever the hell Sullivan is. But you definitely don't know Slappy. So
we were in here like 2 weeks ago with him, right? Sat at
I don't
a
know.
table.
I don't know how your world works, but just because I go to your workplace, wherever it is, doesn't mean my entire staff automatically knows who you are. And why don't you remind me what your humanity is?
It's 5.
Okay.
5 or 6.
It's 4.
It's 5. I'm not going to
It
go
is
to 4.
You should have had it marked at 4. That's what I have in mind.
I lost it twice, but that went down to 5.
Sir, you butchered people at a hospital. We can go down. I'm not going to go down the list now, but I'm positive if you trip through the list, you absolutely aren't sitting at 5.
Yeah.
Well, you and Warren are sharing something in common. That's your path where you were at, right? You have XP to go up, and you're close to do that, but I have it marked right here. We ain't ready for that yet. And part of that is what we're doing here is you're acclimating to the Camarilla.
Sure then.
Whether it is 4 or whether it is 5, it's a minutia point, Brendan. The point is you're over here going, they should know me here. Why? Aren't you Ramsey the butcher of Naperville? Aren't you Ramsey the killer of police? Aren't you Ramsey? I pick fights with people in parking lots to kill folk. And now I'm Brennan the nice guy who brought in clothes for, we just know you're still that psychopath, right? Who's now standing in this club going, I need Sullivan and Slappy. I don't know if you're aware of this and if this description is missing on you, maybe, but I'm trying to impress upon you that people, in particular the staff, they protect the people that work for them. And Slappy is someone who is known is the problem. And that's what should stick out here. You're not going over your best friend's house checking on a house party, right? These people are here and they don't know you, and you are someone that puts them on edge. That's what links Warren to being put on, it puts people on edge in here. It doesn't matter he spent blood to breathe and blink and do whatever. This guy gives off a vibe, right? It's the same thing with Sullivan. But Sullivan's a different reason. But Sullivan has a skeleton. His mentor is a little interesting, don't you think? Maybe Sullivan has a rep. Just saying.
I've heard a couple of things. All right, okay, that's
fine. So come with me here, man. Get that character.
I'm coming. That's set the stage. I will leave the bag here. This is not a place I want to screw stuff up. And I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. And I'll go smoke a cigarette at the car.
Now, here's some options to do before going, okay, fine, ST, leave me alone. And then, kind of storm out of here. Your character is a expert at breaking and entering and getting into places. Right? You tried it the way, Sullivan got in and Warren would, but they're cut from a different cloth. If you really want to get in here, I'm not stopping you from that. But what I'm saying is, let's make the concept fit the logic of what you apply here. So you tried the bag, smart move. Freaking Sullivan screwed you because he didn't tell you what is in his bag if he even remembered the jerk.
Yeah.
So here you are. And why would that set the guy off is only because it's really weird that if you were the friend to bring clothes to somebody, they wouldn't be wrapped up nice like you just bought them.
Yeah. Looks
just off-putting.
Suspicious.
Right. So
a smoke screen or an excuse.
But now we're rolling here. We're going to do your wits. And let's make this I like to think. Oh, larceny does as a priest here. I like that specialty. Absolutely. I'm going to give you an extra 2 dice, too. You've had time to be in here to see this place and see where they stand and see how they operate. They're very much a stop-and-go kind of joint.
Bueno. Certain diff?
Certain diff, yeah, 3. Yeah, easily done. You tell this guy, yeah, I'm out of here. You caught me. I just wanted to, whatever. He's like, yeah, just get a better suit, man. Literally go down the street, go to the Gold Coast, spend $300-400. Not easy for a guy like you, right? Tough guy. Get a suit, come back, and I'll tell you what, I'll let you in. And by then, somebody typically leaves. We could squeeze you in. It's just the dinner crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for being cool, right? And he'll kind of adopt that tone as you're leaving, and you realize why. That first bouncer you talk to, world of difference from the second bouncer. Second bouncer is what we would like to call the cooler. His job is to make sure people leave peaceable, keep it down, don't alarm people, get you out easily. And that's sort of what we're doing here, just ushering you out. That first dude, when you come back out, it's like, all right. And he points to the parking lot, makes a point to hold out a hand and just be like, hey. Right? Does the whole finger point where you're supposed to go to show his authority in line, right? And you're like, yeah, okay. Get that cigarette out and put it in your mouth. And you're like, you know what's cool about this? This is an easy fix. Go outside. You walk down a block. You turn around. They're busy doing their work. Pretty simple. All you do is go around to the side and you look. Sure as shit, you're correct. You could run, leap, grab the edge. Guy like you would be nothing. You might even be able to leap to the top of this. Get to the roof. Nah, it's too obvious. And as you start going through it, it's stunts you do in breaking and entering, right?
Mm-hmm.
Parkour, people like to think was new and came in because some French guy came to America and decided how he runs his best run. And made it amazing, right? And Assassin's Creed catches on and everybody knows how it's done suddenly. Well, that's a fantastic sport and those people are amazing to do it. On the mean streets, they have another term for someone who does parkour. It's called a burglar.
Mm-hmm.
They know parkour of a different way, right? And you're no different. And what you do is, because you want to get in, is you see the catwalk, and wisely it's pulled up to fire code. And you take a run at the wall, you plant your foot and leap to see if you can grab it. We call it the New York hop, right? And you grab the edge, pull it down a little bit as it starts coming down the rest of the way, clink. Maybe someone heard it. You don't really care. You rush up to up the side of it, get up to the first window. Looking at the first window, it's rather interesting. This building is 2-story, right? And you're like, it's wide, maybe an old warehouse, maybe that's what it is. But it'll dawn on you when you get up to this window that it's not even freaking locked. Like, you touch it, you open it, you're looking in. It's like an old school style window. They just spray painted black and kind of left to the side, a little janky for how nice the front entrance is. Now, it's up to you completely, because when you lift that window up and you step inside, you can see that you're on the catwalk of sorts. And this would be like the first stream that probably walks over the whole top of the club where it's at. Maybe goes to the back. You're not real sure, but it's still dead quiet right here. Right? You don't hear anybody singing, or no sounds are filtering up, which means considerable money went in to control the acoustics of this place. So this might be back in the house or what have you, but you can go in and you can be right where you need to be. But because you're smart enough to do it, you'll check your phone and realize right now there's no signal as you step inside.
And this is on the first floor, bottom floor?
So, Brandon, outside, he's on the ground. I described him grabbing a catwalk, right? Which is a ladder.
Right, that's right.
Brandon's upward, you pull it down. You climb up it, you're on that floor. And now that you're going in, you are on a floor of sorts, but you know would overshoot whatever's on that lower floor, that lower first floor, which is where you walked in at. What I mean is you're not above where the bouncer is. It's just you know what level of the building you're on.
Okay. Yeah, I'll certainly go into that building then, be on that floor, and I'll try to see how I can get to Sully. I will use Silence of Death, and because I don't know what all is up here.
I don't know what you're thinking, but I know what your character would be thinking. I've given you 2 red flags. Number one,
no cell signal. Certainly number one.
That would be 2. The first one is the catwalk was easily accessible to break into the side. So this is by design. Someone designed this building to have an easy entrance and easy side exit.
Easy entrance and easy side exit. Well, I don't think this is a setup for like me specifically, but maybe they need easy bolt holes out of this floor.
Okay. Well, no, it's a steakhouse nightclub. I am not going to paint you a picture and have you guess it. I'm just saying that's 2 pieces of evidence. Clearly an easy entrance if you know what to look for, or if you're experienced to do it. No security, no sound. So it's kind of silly to use Silence of Death if you can't even hear the live performance that's going on, or the glasses clinking, or anybody talking up here, and you know you're above that point.
Right,
which makes it weird.
Okay.
The other affectation is the fact that when you got up here, and you're certain that you're up here, the aspect of a catwalk has a lock on it typically. And someone has to use a device to prop it up there, some sort of bar to know what to grab, to pull a latch down and let that fall down. You just leaped, grabbed it, and it came down easily. But they like that floating down and slowly go up method. Like whoever owns this building may have designed a way for them to get in easy and leave easy.
Makes sense. Seems odd. Right? It makes sense in a weird kind of way. I don't think it would make sense to me unless I was, already dead. No, I'll still go through, but I'll make use of my heightened senses, just in case.
What your heightened senses are hyper focused on is the fact that where's the sound at? Right? Everything sounds muffled, and that's what's down below. And it's surreal that there is lighting, and you can see you're above people eating. The problem is you're going to have to play a game of stop and go. A lot of folks, when they sit down, and many people don't look up ever. That's an important distinction. But that's walking around. A lot of folks don't do that research justice, right? That's what my favorite thing is about that. What is it? Not Alpha for Blood or Dead by Daylight. It's not that. The vampire game. We should jump around and really kill each other. The theory is that everybody jumps around and nobody ever looks up. That's not true. Nobody ever looks up until their senses detect something, movement. You ever have those friends that are walking around outside suddenly like, what the hell was that? And they look around.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's because something triggered in the range of their vision that normally there's nothing there. And they go up and look to do that. No, nobody's ever looking straight up. Well, what it is, and they found, is that when people sit down, well, it's almost natural for them to look up. We don't have to worry about walking into something or walking into traffic or anything bumping into us because we're sitting down. Well, now if you're bored or if you're just eating or whatever and you're watching a performance, wandering your eyes is a normal thing. Your character's aware of that as Ramsey. The moment you're up here and you see that, oh, that's an eating area, and you're looking for those wandering eyes, it's hard to pick out playing a weird game of red light, green light. The advantage you have is that there's track lighting up here, and so it's kind of blinding. But it's not so blinding as that, like, if somebody stared at it directly, they wouldn't notice the guy standing on the catwalk walking by, right?
Yeah.
But what you can see is by design, and somebody have to be very athletic to come up here, not make a sound, right, which you have that capability. But then you have to find your way over to the side of the building and climb down without anybody in this building noticing it. With a lot of traffic, this becomes interesting. But if you had to leave quickly, this works out just fine.
It's good to know.
Now, in terms of getting in, this brings you right back to the floor, but no, this catwalk does not go all the way to the bathroom, allowing you to drop down, right? Nobody watches in the bathroom from a vaulted position people taking a deuce, right? It's just
illegal.
Right. It's just none of that happens here. So we'll leave that with whatever interest somebody thinks they might have there. In other words, you are in. You bypass the bouncer. You don't have to worry about any wait staff noticing, but you do have that stake on you, i.e., if you land down there and people notice you didn't come through the front door and nobody seated you and nobody waited on you, that's going to be a little hairy because you anticipate the bouncers being more amped up than normal.
Mm-hmm.
Why we're taking all this time to deal with you here. Why are you in the building again right now?
Why I went into the building was Sully and I were supposed to be the ones that would help, like, Slappy get the body out of there. But he's waiting for Edward Neely, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until someone makes a move, right? He said he's waiting on Neely. That was a last-minute thing, but now I'm in here not, just waiting outside. So
we're here performing, we're here doing something in cause and effect, right? I'm telling you why you're here, and you're like, well, here's the reasons, and here's what he said, and here's them too. I'm not looking for a reaction. It's with the evidence given so far. Do you feel you're able to accomplish that? Seeing that there are people fully here eating at tables, there's wait staff. They got people at a bar.
No, I can't get to Slappy from where I am right now. I could go down and try to go through, but that's more risk. I think it's best that I just wait to see what my other two people out here are doing. I'm somewhat unseen up here, so I'll just try to remain unseen up here for now.
And oddly, on a phone with no signal.
Uh-huh.
You get the problem. No way to communicate. You don't know what's going on. Sully could have walked in, went out a side door by now. Right? Warren could be stuck in the bathroom. This is what I'm trying to bring to you. Right now, you're paused, hoping to hear that another player does something, and then you'll jump into action like Batman. Sixth sense goes off. I'm trying to get you to say, you're a thief. You're in here to get in, to get by, to do what you got to do, except he's in a locked bathroom. You had this. There's nothing for you to steal. You can get in and get out, and you got that. Let's think of something else to do. This is where you can't rely on someone else because you can't hear them. You don't know what's going on. You kind of have an objective. You don't know what body's there for you to get. But do you think you can carry a dead body out of a bathroom in a packed place?
No.
Right? So that's where I'm at. So I'm trying to say, hey, I got to get you to realize that and then tell me what grand plan or thought you have to be able to do it. I'm all for. My guy drops down and goes to the bathroom, kicks open the door, grabs it, and walks down and starts punching people out on the way out. Just like, you want to stop me? Boom, mind your business and keep moving on, right? And leaves, okay, but let's get to it. But if you're looking like, doo, 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 I'm up here, I don't really know why anymore. But
no, I'm not going to Metal Gear this. The only grand plan I could have is to get down, not be seen, and just go for the bathroom and get in there with Sully. I could hand him at least that shirt and then probably try to rip apart the body, but that's I probably wouldn't even fit in this gym bag. So no, I don't even have a grand plan to get that out.
So what I propose here is because I feel I have to push you in this direction. I want to because I was hoping you had it on your own, but maybe we don't know like that. So your character has more than enough wits and more than enough breaking in experiences being Cap. We're going to know buildings like these come with alarms, don't they?
Ah, that makes sense.
So if there's a lot of people here, you need to get them out. What are we? I feel it's as far as I can drop a hint.
Pull an alarm to get people out of the building so I can move that out.
Well, I feel your character would have that expertise to know. What happens when you pull an alarm, Brennan? In a packed place, it's a restaurant.
People start to leave. Emergency services are called. There's a couple of minutes there of before those emergency services arrive. But the building is at least evacuated.
Could do that. Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. That sounds good to me.
Now, does that foil the plans of your friends that they have set up at all?
Yeah, it does. It's a thing I could do, but that also throws a monkey wrench into at least what Sully's doing. I will adhere to my chronicle tenet. I want to do something, but I'm not going to do it at the expense of what my rest of my teammates are going to do.
Good man.
So I'm going to go out of that catwalk. I found something interesting about this. This is, at the end of the day, it's something to probably talk about or wonder about later, but this is not a now thing. So I'll go back out that catwalk.
Good man. Coming back up the catwalk, you're getting resituated. During that time, we're still in the line wondering what to do, Warren. And you'll see that as you're hearing guys grumble and some dude talking about, I had that third beer. I got 3 beers sitting into me. Today? Huh? And they're like, sir, just as soon as the ladies' bathroom's clear, we'll let you come in first to priority. Hey, why does he get priority? He's not the only one with problems. Some people got to use the bathroom. They're here eating. What's up? And that's going on a little bit. They're handling it in their way. Typical woes of the restaurant business. But what's Warren going to do, even though you see Sullivan is engaged in a good conversation, but you can tell already probably going to be heading over here because he looked over and made eye contact with you once.
I will try to play the role of somebody who also wants to use the restroom and ask the security staff who's gesturing everybody and directing traffic, hey man, is it possible if you escort us, there's a staff restroom in this building or some other place we can take this whole line of people and solve this problem with a sign or something,
The guy will look at you, but he doesn't say shit to you. Right? It's like he's security over by the store to keep everything copacetic. But you'll see from downstairs, there's one of the guys who it's a waitstaff person, male, young kid, escorts one of the clients up, and the guy just walks off. They don't need to have a conversation. And he'll just be like, hey, next, who's waiting in line? And the guy comes walking over. I got to leave again. He's like, Jesus, man, it's right there. I could just walk in and look, sir, it's just, we're sorry for the inconvenience. There's a situation there. We're hoping calms itself out and we'll take care of it. Sorry for the headache. We'll comp you 10%. On his lips is the magic anybody needs to hear about their bill, right? As they start heading downstairs. The nice wall looks like it's nice and velvety, fitting the theme, and they head on down and go. And the security guy still stares at you, but now it feels like he's staring at you with a grin he doesn't have. Right? It's that knowing stare of, you made all that comment, why don't you open up somewhere else for us to go, like a staff bathroom? And here this staff member goes carrying a guy off to the bathroom. Like, they were already on it.
See, the thing is, I don't actually need to use the restroom. I guess if they're escorting people to both the women's and the downstairs, there's nothing else for me to do here. My work is done. I'll go back to the stool on the bar.
Well, you'll get over to him as you'll see that Warren, screw it. They got people using the bathroom. You just got to get in line. I don't know what you want me to say, as he looks at you. And you guys see at this point, it's when Ramsey gets escorted out.
It's like, wait, what's going on here? Did you check up on Slappy?
No, I didn't. Unless you want me to cold cock the bouncer. No, I didn't.
Looking at the setup as you're over here, Sullivan, and for Warren, you can see why you can't. There's 3 guys waiting in line to use the bathroom. One security guy's kind of at the beginning of the hall, not stopping anybody from going in, but Apparently the door is locked. They have an out of order sign kind of shittily taped to the door, right? Just like hastily made and like, oh, pardon us. And that's about it. And staff's escorting you where you got to go. And that process engaged or it's there. The funny part is there's a guy in the hallway looks very nervous, has a I forget what they call it. It's entertainer's hat. It's like a Barker would wear, come one, come all sort of setup. And I forget the name of that hat, but it's that
like
style
a top hat of sorts.
Sort of, right? Real small. Comical though, right? Like maybe he was here to open up for somebody or do what he has to do. I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt just because it helps the story to know more than anything else. He bears a resemblance to Slappy, right? This guy looks concerned. He's there, and you'll see him texting his phone. Sit there, and he's walking the hall like whatever. Doesn't know what's going on. Out of sorts. Looks upset, and you'll put two and two together. It's like lightning strikes for you both. Looks like Slappy's walking. He's got a Barker's hat, like a stage cane. Like there's something going on there. But his style of clothing is very much casual, like he was going out in town. Or going to hang out with a friend, maybe a group of them, and has a nice suit jacket on, but it's just a turtleneck. It's beige, comfortable. The guy's kind of, I'd say fit, but he's not. How do I put this? He's yuppie fit, right? You know what I mean? Like I go to the gym, I do my 30 minutes in the treadmill, I go eat my boiled egg, I have an orange, that's breakfast. So I'm dieting. For the rest of the day, I'll eat whatever damn well please. But because they're athletic and move about all day and work out that much, at least they're consistent. And so he keeps it to a fighting fit, right? But here, the guy just looks comical with that hat on.
He'll look over at Warren. He's like, all right, come with me. It's better if we just do this together. And right. he'll walk towards the gent with the bowler hat. He's like, you're a very striking resemblance to a friend of mine. You wouldn't happen to know Slappy, would you?
Yeah, I know. Slappy's my brother. I'm Miles.
Hey, pleasure to meet you. I'm Sullivan. This is my friend Warren. We're actually here to see Slappy, but Slappy actually gave me a phone call. He actually told me he wasn't feeling so well, and I heard he had an anxiety attack. I'm kind of here to help him out. Do you know where he is?
Yeah, he'll walk over to the bathroom door and knock on it, and of course you'll hear the knock. Slappy's like, "Hey, Slap, your friends are here. Did you call your friends, man, and tell them you're not feeling well?"
Yeah, man. Hold up. I'll let him in.
Miles looks pissed when he says, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, all right, Slap, you take care of yourself." He'll whip the cane and the hat on the ground, and he turns around and he storms past you guys.
And
he'll look at that and he'll be like, "Oh," and he'll look to Warren and he'll kind of just make that motion of like, "Do you think you can take care of this?"
I'll pick up the hat and the cane and make haste after the brother.
All right, and
I'll go make haste for it as you're heading after the guy. I mean, he's literally leaving. Gets his ticket out for the coat check, is going to get it, and he's done. What you see though, Warren, is as he gets over there, there's a nice looking woman. I'd call her big bone more than anything, right? She's actually got the shape that a lot of people find appealing in Bob's eyes because it's appealing, right? She's got them nice hips to her, takes care of herself kind of physique, but holds it with a demeanor of just pure confidence in who she is. Walks out. Has the jeans she wears are the typical thing for a girl going out who wants to accentuate her features, but that's it. Little tight, not so tight she can't operate in. Tasteful kind of shoes to go with the outfit, but not enough to take away from the obvious work she has of getting her hair just perfect. Right? Has a smile on her face. Not dealing with a Karen, but you are dealing with someone who maybe, hey, we're going out. I'm gonna look my best. Right? Kind of matches up with Miles. The problem is that she sees Miles is in distress. She doesn't fuck around. She's all business. This is what you see with some couples who care about each other. Doesn't matter what she was doing or what they came to do. They're leaving. They're upset. They don't know what's going on. That's their priority. She's like making a beeline across the club. As you can see, Warren, I'm about to land smack dab central in the middle of a drama that is distinctly not mine. Right? Your destination, if you continue this path, is going to end to tears and a lot of family ear chewing. It's up to you. Does Warren drink drama as well as blood? Well, bon appetit, friend. We'll get to that in a minute. Or are you just going to sort of slow up and let them think whatever? Oh, he was faster than I could catch him, and kind of go stand over the bar and cry into the scotch he didn't drink.
I don't know what I am trying to intercept, but I'm assuming I'm going on Sullivan's ask, right? Can you handle that? I don't know what I'm trying to handle, but I feel like it's not handled if that dude just leaves.
Well,
I didn't even know Slappy had a brother, but I know now. So
you were warned, and you've accepted your path.
I have.
I hope ye who enter here in couple counseling. We'll get back to you.
Okay.
Ranch, the knock at the door, you unlock it. You allow him to slip inside. Nobody charges the door. No SWAT team. Strangely. Why? You're fucking Slappy. And they know that you're just having a moment, right? And if this guy can get you out, nobody seems to mind or care. But one dude will try to go forward. Like, oh, Jesus, let me just use the bathroom. And when he comes forward, you'll hear the bouncer's like, hey, what are you doing? He's like, what? They'll be up here to get you. You hold it. Man, I gotta go. He yells it. And the bouncer goes over and stands in front of this. And he goes, yeah, you gotta go in the ladies' room, guy. It's like, what is it? Yeah, hang on. And here you see him just like as you walk in, he's like, yeah, Sarah, I'm sending a guy down in the ladies' room. You can't hold it. It's a thing. She's like, yeah, we're good. Just tell him to come in and don't get creepy or I'll scream. Yeah, you'll hear the guy, you have to scream, so will he. Okay. And she's like, yeah, sure, thanks. Right? Like that'll help. Just make it worse if it happens. Is this dude's like crossing his legs doing the P dance. Oh dear God, thank God, takes off down the hall. And goes the opposite way into the ladies' bathroom. Back at the ranch. You get allowed in, and it's a different night and day scenario. You know what I mean? Completely different. Where that seems to be very much restaurant nonsense, bar stuff that could happen a night in the life, and you know why it's happening a little bit. It's this sucks. There is a dead guy. You step in blood, right? And though it's like kind of dry, we think that when we drain a body completely, we remove it of all fluid and everything else, and it's just not true. Right? You got that thin pinkish fluid that kind of pours out of the wound from pulling up. This represents the processes the body it has. You know, the blood's last pumping still has gravity pushing stuff through, coming out through a hole in the side of his neck, kind of pools on the ground a bit. It's wet, it's damp. Slappy's kind of half sat in it already, and he's up at the bathroom basin trying to wash it out as he lets you in, and he just looks, I won't say defeated, but like, oh shit. Right? Slappy, why I say you're doing this is because you wouldn't even notice that you were kneeling in it until, right? It's like he walks in, you see the bloop. It's like right? His feet lift up like, right? And you're over there just like, there's enough soap if you throw on it means it's washed. Did you scrub it trying to figure it out?
Oh my God. What happened?
Man, I got hungry. I got fucking mauled by that werewolf, right? Had to fucking whatever the fuck it was, right?
What have you been doing for 2 weeks? You're telling me you just sat in your underwear eating Cheerios and not drinking anything?
And that shit fucks you up. You're gonna look at me and say you're cool after that? I was missing most of my arm.
All right. I get it. My bad. I'm sorry. I would have been fucked up too. You're right. We just got to clean this up though. Oh shit. All right, let's see what we could do with the body. We got to put him in a stall. We got to put him somewhere right now. We got to get you out of here. You'll take a look over Slappy's clothing. How bad is it?
It's bad. It looks like he fed on someone until they died, and then that person, like it happens, their body releases control over certain functions, and he kneeled in it. That's on the floor mixing with other stuff. It's pungent, smells off, and it's there. Now, granted, the guy wore his brown pants, as the joke goes, but it's not funny. People think it's like a little poot at the end of the day. We won't get graphic, but it's a release of whatever undigested material sat in this guy's intestines that pushes out as much as the force of a body that would have possibly locked up its muscles at the last minute, fighting a monster off of its neck, and slowly died, which means the release was kind of a go with the flow moment, maybe underline flow. And we'll just say whatever came out of him from his neck, came out of him from front and back, right? Milk, lemonade type thing. And that's around the corner fudge is made. You just got to finish it. That's kind of what you have here. Now, when you look at this mess that you're around and kind of in, I don't want you to think like this is you're swimming in it. It's not what I'm saying. It's in a very strategic place in front of the door. You could see that there was nobody getting in while he fed. That's a saving grace because nobody stumbled in and walked in. But apparently he had wherewithal to lock the door somehow. Or did he do that beforehand? You're not real certain. So as sloppy things go, well, Slappy, I wouldn't say is sloppier any more than anybody would if they were starving. But he worked himself up to starving and let this go. This is the type of stuff you can recall your sire doing with you, why you started doing what you did. You can only mess up so many times was the rule, as you had said, in your background, before your character had to learn it's sink or swim time. And this looks like Slappy forgot that lesson.
All right. We got to put him somewhere, at least in the stall. We got to clean up as much of this mess as possible. Where is this guy? And he'll call up Ramsey.
So outside Ramsey is all right, this is a weird place. I kind of got an idea what's going on. Your phone's going to ring.
Oh, yeah, he'll answer it.
Where are you?
I'm out back I'm out back of the place. The bouncers, they don't like me. I should have worn that suit KJ got us. But hey, you live and you learn, right? Do you know there's a second floor to this? And that there's no cell reception up there?
No, I didn't. You'll put the phone on speaker as well so that Slappy could also hear. I'm here with Slappy, and it's pretty fucking grim inside of this bathroom. I'm not gonna lie. But all you had to do was bring him the gym bag.
Yeah, the problem with that is they don't like me. Can you believe they didn't think I knew Slappy?
He'll just pound against the tile on the wall in self-defeat.
Yeah, it's also they probably would have believed that if the clothes in the fucking bag had been opened instead of being like brand new. But hey, again, we don't live and we learn. But
we needed to get him out. We need to get Slappy out now. Like, we can't hold up any longer.
Is there a window in that bathroom?
That's a good question. You'll take a look.
So the type of window you're looking at is what they put in any bathroom, right? That's a restaurant like this or club. Is that it has to look classy enough to where you get the feeling that the light makes it feel more open. But it's that thick, opaque glass. You know what I'm talking about? Fog glass is what some people call it. It's not its actual name, but that's what it's commonly known as, right? That's cubed. Brendan, have you seen what I'm talking about?
I believe so. It's supposed to be the type like you can throw yourself against and it won't break, like what they put in like tall buildings. Yeah,
you got it. And you could tell that this being an outer wall, absolutely, it might have been a window that went to the outside, but they restructured it and repurposed it for that very reason, so nobody could peep and Tom in, but you would still feel that it's an open, well-lit area.
Can a body fit through it?
You gonna try? Like when you're thinking window, I don't think you're thinking correctly.
No. I'm not thinking. I am in no way, shape, or form thinking this is like less than half an inch. I'm thinking if someone had to Hulk smash out, but this is him getting desperate, right?
But to help you out, when you have that thought, well, how solid's the wall? And you'll hit on it. Yeah, it's pretty solid. That is not a hollow wall inside of some condo. That's
right.
This is
no. Right. No, Ramsey, that's not going to work. This thing we'd be causing too much property damage at this point. I'm wooded down.
Don't me dissuade you from it, Sullivan. If you want to try to push that out, I mean, it was obviously placed in. It's not part of the wall. If it had a breaking point, you might be onto something.
He'll take a look over at Slappy a moment. He's like, listen, you're probably going to have to pay for this at one point or another. I'll help you out with the cost because this is what friends are for. Just don't forget, we helped you out here. But the easiest thing I could think of right now is is getting you and or the situation out through that window. Can you dislodge it? You don't have to necessarily break it, but can you do something with this?
Man, I mean, yeah, I guess I probably, but it's gonna make some noise, right? Like it ain't like it's one thing when I'm locked in the bathroom for an hour, but when I'm locked in the bathroom for an hour, then suddenly, the wall's coming down. That's a different story, right?
I mean, I guess you're also right.
I mean, it's the best idea we got. Don't let me rain on your parade. I appreciate you coming in here for me, but
he will look at his phone. He's like, hold on, Ramsey, I'm going to give you a phone call right back. And he will dial up Neely. Like, he'll send him a text message. Where are you?
Yeah, sure.
So you hang up on one and you dial and you're texting him or you're calling Neely?
I will call Neely.
You'll hear what sounds like jazz music playing. From where you are in the bathroom, you'll vaguely know the tune because you can hear it in the distance. And you'll hear him. Yeah.
Hey, I didn't see you come in.
Why would you? You were already there when you called me, weren't you?
I mean, yeah, but I was hoping to meet up with you a little bit earlier. Anyways, I'm at the spot, and I need an exit strategy.
Yeah, I'm at my table upstairs in the VIP lounge.
Right. Okay, I'll go see you then.
Hang on a second. You didn't know that this place had a VIP lounge?
No, Mr. Me. Unfortunately, I did not. I only just recently found out that we shit in someone else's domain, and I would like to make things right, so to speak.
Oh, well, you can. I mean, you can call the young lady if you like. We could go that far. It's up to you.
Would you be able to assist me with this? I'm coming to you. I'm asking.
I mean, I could. Listen, I said we meet face to face to have a talk, and I meant that. You want to talk about it, we could talk about it, but that means you got to, I don't know, come up here to have a talk. Listen, if a young lady asks you, I'm going to help you out this far. If she asks you about DB Cooper, all you have to say is Kid Rock sucks.
Got it. He'll look over at Slappy. DB Cooper, Kid Rock sucks. Okay. All right. I'll hold it down here as best as possible. I'll be right up.
I'll be waiting. He'll hang up.
He'll hang up as well, and he'll walk towards hopefully a paper towel dispenser, and he'll grab that, and he'll take a look at Slappy. He's like, well, you're in luck. We might have a chance. And he'll wet his paper towel and start scrubbing the bottom of his soles of his shoes because he doesn't want to walk around with bloody footprints. He's like, so I'll be back. You stay put, and only open up if Warren Ramsey, myself, or someone of higher authority tells you to. All right? I'll be back. I promise I'll be back. We'll get through this. Oh, geez. All right.
All right. Please come back.
Please clean up as much as possible. Do the best you can to clean up and get rid of that smell. Dear God, I think he shit himself.
I am not an animal.
He'll walk out and he'll have that look on his face as he passes by Warren, who's probably holding onto the cane and the hat. He's like, listen, I'm gonna go up to speak to our
He's
contact.
not. We're gonna hold there. It's gonna see how deep Warren got into this. Is you're
okay. There we go. You're right.
So Warren, you got Miles who gets over to the coat check. And he slams his ticket on there, and they're like, "All right, just you gonna be okay to drive? Yeah, I'm fine. Just give me money." Okay, and the young man gets him his stuff, and he gets coat over his arm and sees his girl come in and says, "Hey, it's the number is E13. She needs her jacket too. We're leaving." And she's like, "Honey, are you okay?" And he gets over there. He's like ignoring you. He didn't know who you are, right? Or even paid attention to the fact that you're there, Ward, really. So it's up to you as you had that awkwardness, but you'll hear him say, "Fuck him." She's like, "What, baby, it's your brother." "Yeah, I have always had his back. I've come to like every performance he's thrown. I've listened to his problems, his woes, and everything, man. He calls me we're blood. I've never let him down. I've never cut him loose. I've never shut him out. And he's these people out of nowhere show up, and he's like, "Oh, my friends," and open the door. And now he is not feeling well after he told me, "I don't know what's going on, but we need time apart. I can't deal with that right now." And she's like, "Sweetie, seriously, you're just pissed. I don't know. I get what he's coming through. Maybe he's on drugs, right? That's drug behavior, right? I mean, we know what it is." And you hear this long story, Warren, that I'll spare you, but Warren probably doesn't want to hear it. I'm assuming you don't, of her reading somewhere about addicts do all sorts of strange things when they get hooked, and it's a bad thing. And he's in the blues, but it was always weird that he was a white guy hanging out with the wrong crowd, and that wrong crowd, and he's taking up everybody else's crusades, but not concerned about his own well-being. And he only got in the blues because he's got a particular taste for women with big butts and all that stuff. And Moss is like, no, he's his own sweetie. Stop. Okay. I get it. I get you want to say it has nothing to do with the fact that listen, blues is not black people, and black people don't make and own blues. It's a thing, right? It's everybody has a part of the blues. You know it if you listen to it. And she's like, I'm just not into it. I know you're not into it. I brought you out here to have a steak, enjoy a good time too. Can we stop right here? And you'll see his level of agitation, right? This poor guy, right? He's over here, gets shot from his brother, needs a moment. He's leaving. He didn't even get her ticket until she came rushing over. And now he's getting the ticket. You're watching this train wreck, Warren, of where she's trying to do everything she can because she loves him, to be there for him and help him think through it to calm down quicker. He just needs a peace of mind to know that he's pissed off and to get through it, right? Work through the fact that he's angry. Yes, he's right to be angry, but he's trying to take it out on her. But man, does she just keep throwing herself in harm's way.
Should probably unmute myself. I don't want to wade too deep into those waters, but I do want to kind of pour some water on whatever he's having. I'm going to just extend him his hat and his cane, and I'm going to say, you should probably consider the fact that your brother is trying to protect you in this situation. And my goal for saying that is, I want to leverage the fact that for some reason me and Ramsey seem to be unsettling people tonight, right? Because I expect him to look at me and see some of whatever my problem is that I'm not aware enough to recognize. But I think that can work in my favor.
So repeat exactly what you said before. I want to make sure I heard it right.
I'm going to hand him his stuff, and I'm going to say, you should consider that maybe your brother's trying to protect you in this situation.
I like that, right? Because it's a nice subtle threat. Go ahead and roll your charisma intimidation. I'm going to give you +2 dice for it. I know what you're thinking. Why is it intimidation? I don't need to remind you of your humanity. Ramsey and I already reviewed that a little earlier. So that's one. Number 2 is despite the fact that you're able to feign a lot of things, you may mean well in here, but think about what you said. Right? It wasn't like, hey, you're okay, brothers fight. That's that. You're not trying to attach a human distinction of disarming it. You're like, just think about the fact that he's trying to protect you. And you hand him a hat and cane back, and he doesn't know who you are. Right? You're just, yeah.
No, Bob, I don't want to growl at him.
Holy, okay. What happens is you see he's trying to protect you. It doesn't work the way you think it should, right? You just hear him go, look, man, we don't want any trouble. We're leaving, right? Whatever you guys are into, that's him. He chose not to need my help for that. And he knows my number if it's that bad, and I'll help him because he's family, but I don't have to help him right now. You're right. He's protecting me, and just don't tell me your name. I didn't see nothing. As he's doing one of those, and he'll have his hat to help with it as he's like walking away, and she's like, oh my God. Yeah, he told you he's involved with criminals. Oprah talked about this. It starts with reefer, and it only gets worse as she's on him with the ear beatings as he's walking out the door, just going, yeah. Right?
I'm going to let him have it. If they're leaving, perfect. I'll tell Slappy to call him later and sort it out.
All right. You arrive just in the nick of time, or rather, I should say, Warren has a weird-ass smile on his face as some level of misery he's entertained watching happen and unfold from the couple walking away finally, and you catch up with them in line by the coat check. Sullivan.
He will take a look and he'll be like, everything good?
Yep.
Perfect. Hey, listen, so I saw what's going on with Slappy right now. It doesn't look pretty. It's pretty bad and sticky to say the least. However, my contact is here. I'm gonna go up to speak to him right now. Do you wanna meet this gent? This might be an opportunity for you, or do you feel like you'll want to take care of Slappy?
Hey man, I got your back. I also don't have a magic wand, you know. You leave me down here, I'm probably just gonna sit by the bar, see if I can get something to eat.
Oh shit, there's a shrimp cocktail. Anyway, I got this guy's number. Anyway, we'll talk about that. So I just want to hear from your mouth verbal confirmation. Are you saying you want to come up
Yes,
with
yes,
me?
I will go with you. Yes.
All right, cool. All right.
All right. So you guys are going to be heading upstairs. I'm assuming you're going to use the Kid Rock line.
Yeah.
You
DB
track down the
Cooper,
young lady.
Kid
And
Rock.
she will walk up to you and she'll, can I help you, sir?
They're like, yes, I'm meeting a friend of mine up there.
Upstairs, you mean?
That would be correct.
Okay, no problem. Do you want the DB Cooper special, or are you looking to just try the Fat Belt Tire?
Either one doesn't matter because we both know that Kid Rock sucks. So
Right this way, and she'll start heading over to the stairs. Now, and what do the stairs look like? One, it's not open stairs. What you see are two doors that are labeled kitchen, right? But only one door has the revolving in and out, right? That they're going in one direction and coming out that way. She walks over to the door, and you'll see that there is a keypad there. It's small and black, but there's no. I said keypad, it's the wrong thing. It's like a receiver pad. I forget the name. She has a badge. She'll just pull it out of her pocket and she'll tap it. You'll hear a beep, and she'll open the door, and you're able to walk in and head upstairs. She'll tell you, "Sit down, enjoy yourself, sir. Everything's on the house." So she'll escort that. And sorry if I would have known earlier.
not your fault. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You and Warren have no problem walking by at that point.
Look at Warren and tap him on the shoulder. He's like, "Did you know this place had this?
Nope. People don't tell
We've
me
been
shit.
coming here for a couple of weeks, and we have." All right.
So before we get there, back to Branch, just because it's outside, Brennan, Ramsey, out here waiting, feeling like a dunce, right? You know, you're waiting for these people to come in. They're just leaving you out in the storm. What the hell's going on?
I'm on my second pack of cigarettes at this point. I don't even need to smoke, but this is what I'm reduced to.
You're reduced smoking. What you'll hear is that there's a minor shuffle on the catwalk. The one that you left, right? You were kind of keeping an eye on it, not really trying to make it a thing, trying to figure out who uses it and why.
Mm-hmm.
What you see is a figure hunched down that will be up there, and comes out the window, but pushes out what clearly looks like a body. I mean, you see it clear as the nose in your face, but this person has to be strong to do this, right? What it looks like is some sort of maybe, you don't think they were homeless once upon a time. It's hard to tell from a distance. Your brain's playing with it, right? Where would they have encountered someone who would have that type of overgrowth that long, like they were forgotten? And you don't know if somebody was kept somewhere or whatever that situation might be. But all sorts of ideas are falling through your head because what you're seeing from here is that the body itself is completely naked, right? The hair is unkempt, hard to place age because of that, and but they're completely dead. In fact, you could tell by the rigor mortis in the limbs. You could see the person get them out the window, but then get tired of having to try to bend arms down and whatnot and just start snapping them. You can hear the cartilage bone break. You ever bite a piece of rib?
Yes.
You can feel that bone or have that pop. You hear those pops. It's like you can almost feel them better than you can see them. And that's what it's like at the elbows and at the knees where they get it kind of compact. And the guy standing up will adjust his suit jacket and his tie, and you'll see him just kind of play with it and take it off and let it kind of hang down a little bit. And he looks like so.
Huh. Well, that's
Standing up there.
Expression.
And standing up there, he'll just sort of, lick his teeth a little bit. Weird to you that he'll bend down and get another good bite, and you'll hear the gurgling up there in the catwalk. Like, like you would water in a basin. He's, all that sort of thing. He'd probably scratch himself if he had the need, right? Like just stretching out. Before, he easily picks this body up like a rag doll, goes over to the end of the catwalk and just angles it down for a bit, swings it so that the body slams in the side of the building and lands on top of the dumpster, right? Then he'll hop over the side, walk over, lift the lid, and let the body fall off. He'll pick it up again. He'll go, well, I gotta say, I have to play the role, don't I? And he'll just puppet the body where the head's just like going, as he's angling it. And he goes, yeah, I thought about it too. And there's no way he saw me tonight. you know, um, I don't know. It's still there. And don't you find it weird from the last time we were here? I mean, the same entrance and exit's still there. No one covered it up.
Yeah, it's been kind of weird.
They'll sit there and say that. You're gonna walk up to him and say that?
Part of me wants
to. See, because you done fucked up, though. You know that, Brotron. Yeah. Right? Because that's implying that you were like, oh, yeah, I'll walk up and isn't that kind of weird? Right? And he's having a moment with a dead body. Doesn't know you're there and you're observing it. Are you going to put your quarter in a coin slot and see how Street Fighter ends out here? Or what you going to
do? No, I will do what Ramsey would actually do and just fucking watch. Because I didn't see where this guy came from when I was up there.
So, right, that's my exact point. Mm-hmm. And then you see him, throws the body in the dumpster after the little speech, and he'll look around. Now, your guy has the skill to remain hidden if you choose to, but if you're telling me you wouldn't have bothered and you were standing out in the open, that's what I need to know.
No, I think I would, because that's been, that was rubbing me the wrong way, right, that whole setup.
Just gotta look around. You'll see him adjust his tie a little bit more and kind of just start going through the rain in the plane. Do one of those, like he's about to go give a speech. And then he's like, all right. Yeah. Hi. Right. And then he'll comfortable with it, like he found it. He'll go heading back. Except you watch him easily leap from the ground up over the rail to land. It's hard and jars the whole platform. You can hear like ding, like that. At this point, to see a bouncer walk around the corner, like what the hell is the noise about? And when he goes looking, you'll see that guy in a nick of time just makes on the inside of the window and slowly pulls it down.
That's interesting. That's incredibly interesting. Seems as though, well, someone's trying to get into the role. I'm gonna wait until that bouncer is leaves, and I'm gonna try to see where he went, because I didn't see anyone up there.
We'll deal with that in a moment. Mm-hmm. You two coming up top, it's a different place in this VIP room. First and foremost is as that door opens, what I didn't describe before, because I want to get to it in one smooth motion for the immersive purposes. Here is where you hear sort of a electronica house-style beats going on as you're heading upstairs. It's just loud enough to kind of make it to where people aren't overhearing conversations. And you're not, if it's your thing, you can pick out the artist. If it's not, you can guess at it. But it's local artists, a lot of it. Some themes from European artists, if you're into electronica, you can pick it out. A lot of that stuff's used and borrowed from other songs anyway, and doesn't matter. The point is, the motif up here is people trying to force themselves into the modern. We often think of vampires as being that group that keeps up at the times. Everybody has the latest and greatest. Everybody's always dressed the sharpest. Everybody always looks their best. We forget that a vampire can't forget that element of themselves. Nobody feels like they're their perfect self ever. It's a constant work in process. You always find out things you could do better, or your interests wane, etc., etc. Up here, you can see that. This place looks too perfect, right? It looks like almost like Geiger designed the bar, right? For the weird, eccentric tastes and whatnot. Everything's steel and whatever with this unusual dark padding for people to sit at. Like someone's trying real hard to give high privacy booths and a curtain to go over it. But the lighting makes it to where if you walked by and just lifted the curtain a little bit, you could see who's sitting there. So if you want an anonymity, that's out the window. But maybe they don't want that, right? Maybe it's a place where you could sit down and you're known and that's your booth. And you could shut the world out. And that's what is unique here at the upper spot. There's like about, I'd say, 8 tables that overlook well, what right now is the eating hall. That's the main area right in front of the show. That's on the main floor. So fine, that's good. You can see that there are speakers facing away from where you guys are, which is unusual, but those are not playing the music you're hearing now. That's more or less behind the bar, and you can track that. And when you get up top, you can see there's these small lights that indicate, well, red and green. It's real simple to figure out. Like whether they're LED or they're installed lighting for good effect, it's tasteful. There's sensors at the end. And what you know is going on here is that there's maybe one booth that is occupied because it's red. The rest are green. So this tells you whoever's in there, obviously they're busy, don't disturb them. But the bartender that's up here, he seems to be what you would expect. He's real, got the long hair, looks like he's fitting the party. Looks like somebody told him the classic lines of, if you serve us well, you will count us to be your mentors in immortality. If you can keep that haircut and those chiseled abs forever, then you will be preserved forever. Whatever they're told, right? Seems to be that, because he carries desperation with needing to serve you with, I'm too cool to be bothered with the rest of normal mortal society. Carries that sort of desperation. And while you're up here, sure as anything else, you wait here for a couple seconds, that guy comes across. But you weren't expecting for him to hand you these small black menus. And on the menus, there's not much of a selection. But when you look at it, it is interesting. You're picking moods as they have down there. It's a list of moods that are on the menu, but 5 apparently is all that they have on tap for the moment. They also have pricing that's very interesting to have listed to the side of them. So they've called Happiness in the Bottle, right? Or the Sunset Package as they have there, which apparently it's a sampling of several different flavors. You have no doubt what those flavors must be, but they put the pricing somewhere in the range of $3,000, right? That's a tasting that they have there, but apparently the pricing counts for all night as you read the menu all the way down to the bottom. So happiness is here, sadness. They recommend the what they call the 80s package, and you're not real certain what it is, but it's only 2 types of flavor, and it says not for the faint of heart. You're trying to guess what that's laced with or what that might be, which is really interesting that it's there. And it doesn't jack the price up anymore. The most expensive on there, what you have is innocence, or as they call it, a sunlight. Literally, a sunlight. And you don't know what the hell that is. But that there's $10K that they have on there. And apparently you get sips of it. It's very clear. Limited stock, but you get to sample what it is, and they have enough for I would wager on the menu you would be able to figure out, Sullivan, that give or take by the amounts they're talking, a sip would be about 1 squirt from a syringe into a cup. Probably savor would be about right. And all night long you can have that, which means they're either trying to keep the person alive or the person's already served up in bags and they're low. But that vintage is right. Now, why is it 3K and 10K? That's interesting. The simple solution, you could puzzle it out between the two of you, you and Warren. Either this blood is really hard to make in this capacity, and whatever form it is, they don't have it in that amount. This is people that were kidnapped and they've already had here used for a while. This could be it's all blood bags. You're not really certain how they have it transported or it's here, but clearly whoever knows the password to get up here has had access to blood on tap. This most likely is a membership package that you're signing up for. Pay the amount now. Most likely it's monthly. You keep it going. You got your feeding all in one spot. We'll hand it to you. And he goes, just pick your booth. We'll come to you, young masters, when you're ready. And he'll sit there with that flourishing bow until you walk away or say something clearly.
Right. He'll simply nod, and I guess in the meantime he'll just like scan each red green booth to see whether or not he'll catch a sight of his mala.
Well, to pull back the drapes, right? That's the part I described.
That's true.
So
That's true.
the privacy back means it's a high back on both sides and it's along a wall, right? That they have. That's where the booths have been facing. However, the outer facing would be towards the bar, except you could tell that there's window ledge that's cut into each booth. Probably they all share this. It allows them to see out and over to the club itself.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's there for the bar. Now, great But if there's somebody in there, you'd have to part the veil, take a look, and do your thing. But process elimination. There's only one other booth that's occupied other than you two now. And if you're taking a table, you are. If you're not, what else are you going to do?
Right. He'll proceed to the booth next to the one that's occupied at the moment, and see if he could peek one of those slide glances, those slits.
Yeah, I mean, you'll check it out and see what's going on, and that's a floor. People aren't dancing because there's still people eating, but eventually, according to your watch, closing time is going to hit in about an hour. For the restaurant side, they'll take last order, and then people who are still here, welcome to the party, or they'll leave. But as that's going on, going back to Slappy, you've been in here a long time. It's a feeding, you're fed, everything's great. These guys left, your brother was ran off. He has messaged you, okay, you got things to handle, you're screwed and you can't get it out of your system or let it go. You don't know what to do. There's this window, they said they're going to handle it, they're not really back. To be fair, he's only been gone maybe 10 minutes, right? That's not enough to necessarily build a panic on. But I'm checking in, Slap. Are you going to do anything different than wait for your friends?
I mean, honestly, at this point, Slappy would be contemplating every terrible decision in his life that led to the point where he's in the bathroom at the establishment that he primarily works at with a dead body, slowing everything down. And no doubt, even if he gets out of this, it's going to stain his reputation. So the answer, in short, is no. I'm waiting for my friends.
The answer is no. I don't want to do a damn thing. All right. But maybe you do. And I'm going to tell you what. Bob, I just told you no. Why the hell would I do that? Well, very simply. Do me a favor, take a look at your advantages.
Yes.
Well, it seems you've invested in the Blue Velvet itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. That's not triggering anything. You also have influence too.
I do have influence.
To put that all together, if you already have the lore sheet of the Blue Velvet, which means you're definitely tied in the Blue Velvet and have an idea of its secret places, such as I've been waiting for you this whole time. You're in a bathroom, it's a problem, that's great. But the Blue Velvet is a vampire club. It's a known vampire club. You play at a known vampire club, right? And you may not know who currently runs it now, and that's not really your concern anyway, but you're a guy who knows at the meeting places and about the circulatory system that operates through here. They would have to have a means for getting rid of a body. You can't be the first vampire in a vampire club to have had a feeding this bad. But I myself was allowing you to sort of play this on the down low because it's up to you. If you didn't think to use your backgrounds to help you out of the situation, that's one thing. But I'm now bringing it to your attention in case, all right, maybe I'll use my backgrounds to help me out here because it seems a little weird. Maybe I have an idea. Or maybe you're saying let the chips fall where they may because you think their plan sounds totally fair.
No, honestly, yeah. I mean, I guess trying to connect the dots there. But yeah, I have, the Blue Velvet lore sheet and I do have influence. So with those two combined, would I be able to get in touch with somebody to maybe like assist me here?
What sort of assist are you looking for? Now, when you say getting a hold of somebody, that influence is yours. Remember what area you put it in?
Yeah, it would have been specifically in the music industry, I believe.
Now, the music industry is a pretty interesting place, right? Why am I mentioning it? I want you to think of the people who had to deal with Motley Crue back in the day with their alleged legendary parties and hotel smashing.
Right.
Right. Or if you need help in comedy, I know that's near and dear to you, and you've been in comedy and probably still are. Bob Saget killed a hooker in 1982, and he got away with it. Now, it's up to you how you choose to say he got away with it. Is it because he's Danny Tanner, or excuse me, was it Danny? I forget, but he played the dad on Full House, right?
Right.
Either it's because he was America's sweetheart and they swept it under the rug before everybody could catch on to it. But he brought it into his act, didn't he?
Yeah.
Now, completely joking when I say that, but it's the power of media. The funniest part about the roasting that I'm referring to where that was said is the fact that there were people who actually believed Bob Saget killed a hooker in like 1982 because one of the comedians kept saying it, right? Wouldn't stop during the performance. Not like they just sat there and repeated, but every chance they could, they brought it back to everybody's attention, right? It was funny to watch. Why is that relevant? Saget's a raw comedian, right? One of the rawest that you've ever heard. And you wouldn't think that, Daddy Tanner would be that way. Why do I mention it? PR. What the public perceives is everything. And those people see you as a commodity, which means you'd be very right to say in the music industry, nobody wants your career to tank because guess what? You make thousands for people. Now, it's up to you how you want to do. You might very well be able to twist this around and call a guy to say, hey, I did a bad thing. I got a body here. I don't know what to do about it. Don't ask any questions. We got to get rid of it. Shit.
No,
Maybe
you're right. I feel you. I'm a fucking commodity to this club. It's in their interest to clean up this body. But yeah, no, using my influence and my combination with my 3-point lore sheet, I'd like to, like, hey, I made a boo-boo.
I made a boo-boo. Help me. Okay, you can. We're going to say here that this will count as for your story usage of that lore sheet. And what you're doing is you're trying to tap the club to make this all better. However, I need you to know this is for you. Does not help your coterie in any capacity, but it does help you. We still good with that?
I mean, yeah, I have to be, right? I mean, hold up. Before I do that, let me check in with I'm going to check in with Sully. And I'm going to call him first to make sure I'm not shitting on his parade, right? Because if he's already like pulling strings to help me and suddenly I'm like, you know what? I got it covered. You deal with the mess that you made because you were helping me, right? So that's screwed up.
So the second booth you get to, Sullivan, when you got the courage to take a peek to see if your mall is there, your phone rings and you nearly jump out of your skin. And the bartender will smirk. It's like, nah, you're totally cool. You're safe here, bro. You're safe.
Right. 1 second. Yeah, it's Sully.
It's weird to you, Warren, that you'll catch that bartender when Sully takes that phone call in the open. He puts in, you'll see him pull out his Beats by Dre headset, these big red ones, and puts them on his ears and goes back to cleaning the counters.
That man is well trained.
Hey man, it's Slappy. I mean, obviously, you got caller ID. Fuck, sorry, long night, right?
You good, Slappy?
Look, I've been thinking about it, and I think I might be able to get myself out of this. But if you already got something going on, I don't want to step on your shoes, right?
Well, hold on. I'm about to meet up with this gent, but what do you mean?
Look, I got connections, right, to the club, but it'll burn some bridges for me potentially. But I can probably get out of it. But I feel sorry, I'm like a grade A asshole, right? Like, but basically, I don't want to do this and burn these bridges if you think you can get me out of it, because I'm starting to worry hard.
Okay, hold on. I just want to make sure I get this correctly then. You say that right now there's a very huge possibility that you'll be able to get out of this without me needing to rely on my source right now. But if you do, you're saying, and obviously he's saying this so that Warren could also hear him. But if you do, you're saying that this is probably going to cost you something specific to this place or to you in general? Or do you want us to shoulder this?
Well, when you put it like that, I mean, I'm just letting you know I appreciate what you did, but basically I'll have to pull my connections through the blue velvet to try and just get rid of this body, right? But
hold on, is that going to ruin your Are you going to be able to perform?
Well, that's the thing. I bring in mad cash to this place, right? But at a certain point, if I'm more of a liability than I am an asset, that's when things get a little messy, right?
All right, let's do this. You tell me what you want. I'm going to give you the opportunity to make that conscious choice because you are part of this crew. And whereas I definitely want to sell you on a lot of things, like at one point or another, this, and I hate to put it to you this way, as he runs his hands through his hair, it's like everyone's got to make a decision at one point. You let me know right now what you want to do about it. If you want to go through with your actions, this may work out in your favor, and that might be your come up, because then it'll show that you're able to clean up this mess. If not, I'll do mine, and we'll bear the responsibility.
Yeah, man. Let me take care of it. Y'all have done a lot for me tonight.
All right, give us a phone call when you're done. If you can, call Ramsey. He's like a pigeon. He's out there somewhere. We just need to make sure that he doesn't run away.
We not talk about pigeons for a while.
Oh. My bad.
Hey, thanks.
All right.
I'll let you know.
Yep. And he'll hang up. He'll take a look at Warren. He's like, I go figure. Apparently, he had connections, and he'll probably be able to take care of this for him. He'll pause a moment, and he'll kind of look a little bit odd. Do you find that a little bit odd, or do you think that's a real thing?
I think it makes sense that a guy under some pressure, he forgot. Sometimes you leave your fly open, whatever.
I really didn't think this happened in the music industry. Or maybe it's a combination of little column A, little column B being what we are. All right. Either way, this meeting is going to be pretty good for us. You ready?
Yeah, man.
All right.
Nice to meet your friends.
Nice to meet your friends.
He's a good friend, we'll say that. And he'll go to meet Senor Neely.
So how are you going to approach this booth here? You're just going to knock and introduce yourself? How did you do it?
He'll kind of like because of the curtain, the drapes rather being there, he'll be like, hey, is Mr. Neely, you in there?
You'll see a woman in about her 20s, long black hair, definitely has a good energy, a big smile, as she'll just glance at you with kind of a chuckle. And she'll be like, no, he's not back yet from putting his face on.
Right. Okay. Well, my associate and I.
Sullivan, you're expected.
Gotcha. I also have my associate with me, Mr. Warren.
I'm aware.
Perfect. And he'll move it aside, and he'll be like, Warren, I'm sorry, I didn't capture your name.
You didn't.
Right. Warren. Have a seat.
I will go into the booth first.
You have a seat opposite of her, obviously, and you have a sit down next to him, Sullivan, I'm assuming. And there's plenty of room. This is not a gaudily attached old 70s build, stuff them all that you can into the diner to feed him a quick slop to get him out the door turnstile. These booths aren't attached. They're nice and comfortable. It's something you sit on to engage accordingly. And what I mean by that, you can pull out and adjust your seat and get comfortable, that sort of thing. The only thing is that the outer perimeter is what you can't move past, right? Everything has to fit in this booth area for that, which means you can easily sit, but don't go looking to rearrange and make a room out of it. By design. It is discomforting to note, there is a vent underneath the table itself. And what it looks like, well, I should describe the vent. There's silver grating that's over the top. It's kind of tastefully done, but it's all slanted. As if there's something spilled off the table, they could hose it down and let it filter into this vent. There's probably some piping and whatnot down on its own. Just a little odd. Table, though, is just wood. It seems to be okay. No big deal.
He'll take a look around. And he's like, wow, this is really swanky, isn't it?
I don't know if it's swanky. What's that? That's a cute term.
It's he'll snap his fingers. Warren's a lot more contemporary. Warren, how do you describe something pretty cool, pretty interesting? What's the word to use nowadays?
Well, I wouldn't use the word swanky, but I'd definitely say impressive in an unexpected way.
That's probably just me showing my age. My apologies.
She'll grin at that, showing your yes, your age. Good. So tell me, I heard from Eddie. It says that you've been pretty naughty. Is that what's going on? You're in a little trouble you're in?
About that, it seems that whereas myself has not been naughty, we have an associate, a member very close and dear to my heart, who ran into a small complication, but I just received a call from him that he believes he might be able to take care of.
Oh, it's so troublesome, right? You trust people not to make a mistake and be a headache, and there you are fixing their problems.
Right? That's a thing. But I mean, I guess that's what keeps us in business.
I remember that. I remember we all go through that phase, right? Hey, how big is it exactly? I mean, after all, I mean, the scope of things, it's not like you're under attack by the Sabbat or anything.
The mess? No, definitely not that. I would probably say on a scale from 1 to what you just mentioned, probably a 3.
On a scale of 1 to probably of 3. Is that accurate? That's what you just told me.
Well, on a scale from 1 to being he'll clear his throat. In all seriousness, on a scale from 1 to being under attack from the Sabbat, it probably scales around 3. It was spilled milk, so to speak.
Right, but the expression, right, typically, you would say the full range. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm at an 11, right? And then it has that impact of like, I'm really, really in trouble. But if it's on a scale of 1 to 10 and you're like, it's like a 3, it means it's, I'm being coy, I'm underplaying it, don't worry, I'm in control, but maybe I want you to help me, as you cutely try to make it seem like you're in hand. But if you're here in front of me, clearly you don't have it well in hand at all. You don't call daddy because you have a hand on it.
You are not wrong. But I'm hoping that within the next 10 minutes or so, I receive a phone call letting me know that my associate has been able to take care of the situation.
Your associate. I like how you talk, right? See, if you had it as well together as you said, you wouldn't be here right now looking to talk to old Ed, would you? I'm only pointing this out because why so tense? Why not just simply say what's going on? Now, Ed is here. You were directed here, right? You told to come upstairs and all that. No one gave you a problem for being here. Enjoy a privilege. You even get to see the menu. No doubt you'll select your monthly plan, of course.
Right. Well, it's he'll look at Warren and he'll kind of just like give him a small, like, he'll use the same eye to kind of give him the assurance, and he'll just like to speak. As if he'll own up. He's like, well, Slappy had a situation in the restroom below, and it needs a bit of tidying up. Unfortunately.
Oh, ridiculous. Thank you. Think nothing of it. And she'll get up. Enjoy your meeting. And she'll literally leave the booth and begin heading downstairs. However, you'll hear, Master, do you need anything? As the headsets brought on, you'll hear her say smoothly, Derek, you're fine. Continue doing what you're here for. And she continues walking away.
Look to Warren. Did you know who that was?
No idea. Bet she's old as fuck.
Back at the ranch on that note, Mike has great one-liners for segues, by the way. You have Brennan. You're following this guy in, right? Mm-hmm. You're there. Let's see how good you are.
Let's see
how good you really think you are, right? You got to go back. You've seen this guy stronger than you, definitely, but he's laissez-faire, seems to make mistakes. And that may be to your favor. Hopefully, except for the fact being what you are, I don't know, you would believe that. Typically, the older the predator, the longer they've been with the senses, the more tricks they know. So who knows? But you're free to pursue. And in that regard, we're going to have to do sort of what we like to call as good as stealth can get roll, right? So here you're going to have to make a wit stealth roll. You're trying to get up there soundlessly. And against a person like that, I'm going to give you no bonus dice. I'm not going to take away any dice. Even though you're in an advantageous position, here's the reason. You're not wrong in assuming that person is more alert than the average canine, right? Obviously. However, they are sloppy. There are things they would overlook that maybe is forgiving in your favor. So we'll see how good you can do this.
Word. Certain difficulty I'm aiming for on this one?
No, because it's opposed. And we're going to see how well you do.
Okay. Stop it.
All right. So, as far as you're aware, you get up to the wall. After the bouncer leaves, you leap up. You wait. He comes back and sees you on a ladder. Big deal. You let go, run away.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't come. And also, why I said wait, you got nowhere to run.
Right.
Comes out, looks up, you're right there. What are you going to do? So,
jump.
right. So, as you wait, nothing happens in about like a 10 count in your head. You decide that's good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Free climb up the rest of the way. You get on the catwalk, quiet. You sneak up to the window, and you will note you thought he shut the window. You're pretty certain of that. Right now, you'll see it's open big enough to put your fist in it. You know what I mean? If you stuck your fist out, the windowsill to underneath is just so. You're pretty certain he shut it.
Well, I know what I know. If I know he shut it, then I know. See, I feel like this is something maybe I would do to let someone know, like, hey, I know you're following me, or he's waiting on like the other side, like just to the side of the window. No, I'm not here to like track this guy. If this
It's an odd choice of words coming from a scout.
Yeah, okay. No, never mind. I'm getting tripped up. Instinctual. I'm gonna pop heightened senses and I'm gonna go through.
All right. Popping heightened senses there, Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
Help me understand what we're popping heightened senses for. It's often the not understood thing that players do. That doesn't tell. It's not a beacon. You don't suddenly become aware of everything in the environment. They're to a purpose.
This is
So you're enhancing these senses for what right now?
So it's incredibly quiet up there. I want to be able to hear better. I would expect if I was to like try to smell things, I would definitely smell blood because he just tracked it through, right?
All right, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
You're using scent of smell to track the fresh blood, right? That's more important than sound if you're trying to follow them, right? So that's what you're focusing on because you don't get to go by heightened senses of hearing to hear the environment, my sense of smell in case something weird comes up. And while I'm at it, sense of touch, so I can't get ambushed with my tremor sense.
If you
right?
can't focus on everything at once, otherwise you're not focusing.
Correct, and that's what we have it. But to what you're going for, it's scent of smell, and obviously being cautious is going to be part of that. So what we're going to do here, we actually won't because I'm looking at this. Your wits and your investigation is enough for you to be able to get the basics of what we got going on. So. The smell is not faint to you because it's fresh. It's the dumpster outside is the strongest, but you're going to how far away does it get that you can still smell it being the actual smell? It's easy to do. So for this, you guys are kind of merging in this scene here. For what you're going to do, Brennan, you don't encounter him, right? But you know where the smell goes. And when you see that it goes all the way up and over where the kitchen door is, and you see somebody come out as wait staff to go up into that, you also catch something else. You'll see him, whether he timed it or he just happens to be down there by the door, he'll keypad the lock that's down below. Uses one, just white key card, bink, has it. You'll see him kind of chuckle at it. And for whatever weird reason, he lets the door shut again and he just kind of sneers and he just, bink, hits it again and it pops open. You get the impression of a cat who might like to hit something that makes noise, might sit there and do. Here's the weird thing. It does feel kind of appealing to you.
Right.
You have that sense of smell there, but what I mean by that is you're like, why would he do that? What is it? And he chuckles because you see him turn his head, and when he hits the gate, he's like, and then goes up there. You get it. He can hear the tumblers in the lock releasing, allowing it to pop open. It actually sounds pretty cool. It sounds like a multitude of pop and locking noises in sequence that go around in a circle that release the lock. You would never have known to even do that, but you see him doing it and chuckling. You're kind of like, that is kind of cool. As the door he holds open all the way and just go stomping up the stairs, right? Everybody else, and you'll note this. Yes, there are people down below who are workers who see him, but they don't turn toward him. This is a familiarity. They're used to Mr. Weirdo doing whatever it is he did. odds are they did bury him walking by with a corpse or whatever the hell he did, and they just let him be him. So it's pretty interesting. That mystery grows. But for a guy like you, it's nothing for you to drop down. It's a matter of timing. Someone comes out with a platter of food, that door's almost shut. That's what you have to be concerned with. You can either drop down, no questions asked, and be outside this door and figure out how to get inside past there, or you can try to catch the door
I'll try
by
to catch
dropping with speed. This is a roll because it's not about larceny here. It's about your ability not to cause alarm as you drop down and to get there. You could do it with your thinking through it, or you think you're quick enough to do it on your own.
Ramsey is much more better on his thinking things through on his feet rather than actually moving that fast.
All right, so make that a wits and go ahead and do stealth. Difficulty here is 3.
Word. Can I rouse the blood for this?
You certainly can.
Thank you, sir. Rouse. Okay, I'm hungrier. And that is wits, and that is stealth, and that is +2 from the rouse. If I can find where stealth is on this sheet, because I've gone blind. There it is. Never mind.
You guys have been cheating me on your hunger dice in here. Have you been doing that? No, you haven't. Okay, good. Good man. I went back to double check. I was like, hunger, I've been assuming. Yeah, it's there.
You got a certain diff for this one? You might have said it, and I just
3.
didn't catch it.
It's
3.
3.
You did. I do remember now. That's right. Oh, wow.
Now, why this is badass of what you do is because it's a testament of the character you made. For Ramsey, it's knowing the environment, not just the environment, it's knowing people. That's what a harmonist does. And what you do is you wait. Now, you wait for the last possible moment. Here's why. People respond to the oddest things in the environment that they think they're not aware of. And in here, you're looking for the guy that might go over the door to help it close quicker. You're just waiting on it. You know there's always one, particularly as they go by routine, right? Almost like ants as they go about their business. And you will see. The barkeep comes on over, and the door is not exactly a flush shut to where it is. But what you do is as he's over there to shut the door, you drop down right behind him, and you simply go, oh, man, that sucks. And he turns over and says, excuse me? And you're like, my buddy, he took my card to go up because we're late for a meeting with the boss. You know how that goes. I'm supposed to be up there. Like, any way you can let me in. I mean, that's why you opened the door. And he's like, well, who's your friend? And you begin describing him. He goes, oh, yeah, no problem. When he opens it. Why did he open it? Why did he let it in? It's simple human nature. You said it with such confidence. It happened so quickly. He didn't notice you dropped down. Obviously, you didn't run up because you're not breathless. You're not disheveled. You're not anything. You're collected. You said it with confidence. And you're like, oh, I thought I'd catch him. And you have that story. And you make it endearing, right? And the looking human, the ability to be coy, the whole 9, you pull out all the stops here. And the guy's like, oh, yeah, absolutely. Enjoy your night. And opens the door, and you just head on in. And then, though, he makes certain to shut it to secure it when you go in. And that's what lets you know you guessed the nature of this club well. Anal retentive does have its drawbacks. And that's the chink in the armor, but you're inside. Now, heading on up is your own business here at the moment, i.e., I'll cue you when you, obviously, you can sneak up only so far. Why? The bartender's going to look at you and we know he's there. We'll see how that works out. No one gets past Guillermo, right? That's just how it is. We'll see if you can. But back at the ranch, what is Warren and Sullivan going to do when whoever that was got up and left and said she's got a handle on it? And you were like, I guess we're here waiting to see your friend. Is that what we're agreeing on doing?
Yeah. He'll look. He's like, we should probably, Warren, let Slappy know that we just spoke to some lady, dark hair, and we just let her know what happens. She said she had a handle on it. Tell him, though, it's like he'll put up his hands and surrender him. Tell her that we didn't tell her to do anything, but she just said she had a handle on it.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. We should at least give him a heads up.
Maybe he knows who she is. That might be another thing.
Or, well, let's be optimistic. I'll shoot off the text message to Slappy. Heads up.
All right. You're making a text message. You're getting that going. You guys decide to do that. It's not a familiar presence, but you will hear, here already, huh? That's my Sully. As the drapes get thrown past, and you'll see Edward Neely. Now, you already know who he is. I already put him in the chat. I can't help you. That is his appearance as the artist has drawn them. However, right now, he does have blood on his lip. right? Unaware of it. Sitting right there, standing in front of you. That's him. For Sullivan, you mentioned you had old history with him and you lost touch and whatnot. It's not entirely true. It's, well, you needed somebody who knew the Venture clan, and this guy does know that, but he comes with a little, you kind of got to get along sort of thing when it comes to Ed. And
Right.
That's what you get. For Warren, it's weird that when he sees you and you see him, he kind of grins a little bit, and he'll lick his lips, and then, oh, I had a little save. He'll start wiping it off his chin and sucking at his finger. I heard about you. And he'll get in the seat opposite of you and sit down, and he's all smiles. For Warren, it takes one to know one. He's fake as fuck with that smile. It's a shark grinning, right? It's a shark looking like a dolphin, smiling like a tuna, and doesn't get why it's out of place.
Yeah, I'll just give him the trademark kind of sarcastic. I don't know what you're talking about.
He doesn't cough. That's my mortal trait. But anyway, what he does is you'll see him take his thumb and he puts it between his fingers right at the middle digit, right? And you'll see him just sort of tap his collar real quick and sit down. For Warren without rolling, that's the last symbol used in the Sabbat out of Montreal, is what he does do. At the table, he's like, Sullivan, what you got? You have a problem? You need help with something?
No, well,
but you'll realize, Sullivan, he's not looking at you. He just asked.
Right.
He stares at Warren.
And Sullivan is just kind of doing like the, all right, yeah. He doesn't say anything. He's like, okay. No, Mr. Neely, it seemed that my buddy Slappy just finished giving me a call, letting me know that he should have the situation under control. And there was a lady sitting here a little bit earlier. Told her what happened. She said she had it under control too, but I'm not. Do you know who she was by any chance? I'm sorry. This is like my first time actually up here.
He'll smile. I do. And I'm afraid this is a matter of simple business transaction, right? You got to invest a little bit. I taught you that. And to get along in the businesses, you got to learn how to invest in the right friends to have them in your corner for later on ventures, right? This is one of those times. Got a rare opportunity. Remember me telling you a long time ago that what's the point in feeding if you can't pick the right choice, the right flavor?
Right.
Yeah, well, if you decided your favorite, you're always picky for that. I mean, you don't have to tell me. I mean, I know how it goes, right? We eventually got to stick together. He'll wink at you, Warren. But in sticking together, we also got to figure out, our own. And he'll look back at you, Warren, as if expecting something.
So Mike doesn't know the last sign other than the one he just threw me. Is there a roll I could make? I have a single dot of etiquette to know.
So, Mike, you break my heart with your vaunted Sabbat ST forgets about the hand symbols of the Sabbat hat.
What I'm saying is that, is there an etiquette roll I can make to know whether throwing him the one he just threw me is sufficient? Because I know what he just did.
Sir, that's what it does.
Well,
that's why you knew what it was.
Okay, well then, fuck yeah. I'm going to give him his gesture as I straighten out my tie once their conversation starts. Like I'm trying to get a little more professional.
He'll relax. He'll like, oh, okay, all right. That's what I figured. Yeah, one of those. That sucks to be in no shoes. Yeah, Sully, not a problem. You just got to pick what your blood type is. It's what she's. It's the asking price around here. You want to feed in Bedlam, or as I like to call this place, you want to belong to Babylon. You got to pay the membership fees.
Right. I saw that on the sheet. I'll sign up right now. Do I? Yeah, I'll do that now. He'll take a look around and he wonders if he does it flagging someone down. You'll see him like a little bit off put by a second. That's mainly because he's looking between his mentor and Warren, and he feels like for once he's not the subject of the conversation. So his ego is getting like he has the fuck. Why are they talking about me?
He'll look at you and he'll go, look, you just need to go to the beef jerky at the counter. Tell him what's up. That should be all you need. Get that going.
I'll go take care of that then.
You still got
Thanks,
that silly ass corporate black card, or did you actually upgrade to a bank account and some real assets?
I have some assets. I have some assets.
Yeah, good man.
Real
Handle
estate.
your own.
I've
I'm
been
proud of
working
you.
on. Thank you.
I talked over you on purpose because that's what he does.
Right. No. I gotta. Thank you, Mr. Neely. Right. I'll go get myself signed up with Warren over here. I'll be right back. And
And he what? As you go what?
no, he'll get up and he'll put a hand on Warren's shoulder. He's like, you be good with Mr. Neely here. He's a very smart man. Don't let me down, man. He'll just he'll whisper that in his ear as he walks out to sign up.
Now for Ramsey, it's real easy. As you see the back of Sullivan, all right, because he comes up and he's like, hey, talks to some guy at the bar and you can hear it.
Mm-hmm.
And you waited for him to be engaged for you to begin going up, and you do get up the steps just fine. And obviously there's a little bit of a line, but it's Sullivan. And the bartender looks in that direction. He's like, oh, we'll be with you in a moment, master. And he goes back to Sullivan, you being called master, the hell, right? Like, what? And they resume doing what they're doing, at least up there. And all he does is, you decided on membership type. Which one would you prefer? And by the way, we only deal with secure assets. We could do cryptocurrency if you need time to set up your account. If you do that, we do still use things anonymous like PayPal and whatnot. But your LLC, depending on how you have it set up, I can give you advice of how to make it to where it can change. You probably want to shell company that way they can't pick up where it's coming from for your anonymity. But we will verify monthly accruancy based on how many times you hit, i.e., if you're loyal for month after month after month, it gets cheaper as you go. So it may start at the high end and you went 10K because you really like sunlight, but what's going to happen is it's going to get cheaper right around the range of $7,000, provided you stay loyal with your fees for a set amount of time. And you'll notice those differences immediately.
He'll nod, and he'll choose Sanguine. Anything that puts him in that range.
All right, so you're signing up and figuring it out and input it and put it in. You're even amazed that this guy has an app. I'll tell you to sign the Q code to get that app to load and whatnot. And it's pretty well versed in what needs to get going to get it. Not long to do it. It's uncomfortable because you got to what's my bank code again?
Right. Yeah.
Do that. And that's the longest part of it is he's smiling. But he gives you the time to do it. And as you're going through it, Ramsey, are you going to sit and ask him what's going on or leave him to it and head to wherever you think you should go?
Yeah, I'm going to leave him to do his thing. I've found my party. All right, they already got the table. So I'm heading to it.
To the function of it, and you can see that Warren, as you're alone with this guy, he'll look at you. I just want to know, how long do you think your betrayal is going to hold up?
Well, I guess one more night than the last. I'm not really sure how to answer that question.
That's fair. Well, Tom sends his regards, right?
Yeah, sounds like him. Lots of bluster.
Of all the people, right? You found Sullivan, found you. That fucking putz. If I would have known he would have been a Sabat catcher, such a relief. I'm glad that it break. When Ramsey walks up, he's like, so anytime you want to help out with a situation like this, just feel free to use my number. I want you to think of me as, what it's supposed to be. It's about loyalty, over any sort of prestation. It's about sticking to what you took an oath about over any sort of moving up the ranks,
Hey, like any good member, I know how to keep the faith.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good. Not everybody starts as Camarilla, but I guess once you find out what they can do, it's sometimes more important than your own soul, right? It can be that way sometimes. I get it. We venture understand that better than most. No biggie. If it isn't Ramsey, hey, it's talk of the town. I have a seat with your buddy.
Yeah, Ramsey will sit down. Talk of the town. Yeah, I guess we are. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
You didn't. You sure didn't. Listen, it's not a technique, but it's interesting that you need a name. Why do you two specifically care? That's the part I don't get. Like, you think you're going to be able to pull this off? You really think that you can do what you did and you're going to stay here untouched?
Desperate times, desperate measures. I'm sure you know the axiom.
Well, I know this axiom. You're only alive right now because it's more entertaining to see what you do than it is to kill you. Because for me, you might call me a bit nostalgic. We all choose our mentors and choose our own paths. Let's just say things aren't what they seem. But I tell you what, it really burns me that two cowards like you can hide away in a home and you think it's going to be rainbows and lollipops. All's forgiven, go re-alike, pretend to be human. Ah, how the mighty have fallen.
Hey, listen. You're making a lot of assumptions for somebody who just met us, all right?
I'm not making any assumption. Your actions speak louder than anything. I know cowards when I see them. I'm a front line fighter. I didn't hide behind pack ethics and ideals and think that that was enough. I got it done. So it's cool. Hey, I'm only revealing a little bit right here because Sullivan never fucking believe you. Not in a million years. You can tell him whatever you want because I know what infiltration is because I was a scout, you failure, as he'll look at Ramsey. I know how to do my job, unlike some. Don't worry. You fellas, I'm sure, will be right here, not changing a damn thing about your habits and behavior, hiding in the open like a sore thumb. Ah, well, I envy you, Tom. I thought it was going to be a challenge, but if I'd have known out of the blue sky tonight I'd been called out, I'd have brought my smock. Oh, I know it's a lot of words, big talk. You don't think it can happen? That's fine. I figured that. We'll find out later. Oh, look at that. Hey, Sullivan, buddy, bad news. I got a phone call, and he'll do this to you both as he gets up out of the booth and starts heading over there. And you'll see him looks like he pats his phone, Sullivan, and then he comes walking over. He's like, hey, can you afford that?
Yeah. No, I got it. I got you. Listen, man, thank you so much. I appreciate it, Mr. Neely, you showing up, and I didn't want to waste your time. Hopefully it was fruitful for you to meet us.
Look, Sullivan, it's like I told you. We eventually got to stick together. I mean, Ballard, that fat bastard, you know what I mean? He'll do whatever he can. He won't admit that he's losing money, but he is. He'll try to pull you into it. What this does right here is it puts on the map that you have wealth. And that's going to scare him. That's an important thing. We'll continue chewing away at that foundation. I mean, you might as well consider them the elephant, right? One bite at a time until we get the big guy.
I understand.
Financially.
Right.
I wonder about you sometimes. You got that predator's grin, am I right? And he'll shake your shoulders. It's like, look, you're a cool guy. I got to be somewhere. Do me a favor though. He'll lean in. Watch those two. Don't forget their scumbag Sabat. Don't ever forget that. Right? They're traitors to their own kind. They can't keep loyal for anything. Just use them for what they're good, right? You get a problem with somebody, throw them at it. Hopefully they die. Kill them in the process. It's a win-win. Play the victim when you got to, and above all else, they're an advantage, right? Don't stick your neck out for them. This other guy, whoever you're doing a favor for, I don't know who it is, but if he's Sabat too, Sully, what are you doing? This is a dangerous gamble. This isn't how you climb high where you're at, and that's your future, Permingen, remember?
Right. No, I understand. I get you. Thank you so much, Mr. Neely. I really appreciate it.
Listen, this isn't an owe me sort of thing either. Right? It was nothing. I was already out feeding, right?
Great. Thanks. I really do appreciate it, though. Your counsel helps me out. It's gonna be interesting.
Thanks. He'll turn and he'll head for the door, kind of whistling a little bit as he goes down the stairs. To time this up, because your message did go off. However, when it goes off, it's at a very weird point. For you, Slappy, there's a knock on the door, and then you'll hear a key in the hole, which you haven't heard all night. And as you're about to run over to get it, with obviously keep it shut because there's a body in here, and who's trying to clean this up? What's going on? You'll get a text message, the ding went off. What you'll hear on the other side, you'll hear, sweetie, my club, my rules. I'm going to open my door. If I have to replace my door, I'm going to beat you with the locks. Just kidding.
Yeah, at that point, getting the confirmation from the text, Slappy will back up from the door and be like, it's cool.
It's cool. sleeping bag. You do one of those. Donovan is who comes walking in. And he'll be like, oh, Jesus, this is gross. What is this? He'll come in, hey, Slappy, what the hell, bro? He'll come inside, but you don't see any woman that comes in the door. Although you will see this guy put the keys in his pocket.
Slappy,
Man, what went on? What's going on here? What's a guy like you doing in here getting your shoe? What is that smell? Jesus, this guy just really let go. What do you eat? Like 3 pounds of chili? What's Slap, man? You gonna talk to me, or are we just gonna look at me? Oh, you may have forgotten. I'm Sullivan, right? Not the Sully that you know, but I sign your checks. Remember?
yeah, of course, man.
Then what's my name?
Donovan.
Donovan.
Greer?
I'm kind of offended. I've been paying your check for a long time. I've been hiring you to do a job for how long, and you don't remember my name?
Hey, it's first names, right? First names are what it's all about.
Slappy. Stop thinking like you could charm your way out of this. You killed some guy in my club.
Look, I know, man. Flat out.
Then what's my name, Slappy?
Bernoggle doesn't remember, so I'm assuming Slappy doesn't remember because Slappy doesn't really give a shit.
Would you like to call the audience, sir, and see if they know?
I would love to call the audience.
Pick a player at the table you can ask to see if they remember.
The roulette wheel spins. Let's go to DJ.
There we go. I had to get myself off of mute. It would be Donovan Crabtree.
Crabtree, that's it. Donovan Crabtree.
It's weird that when you do this, and this is important, when you're like, Crabtree, it's Crabtree, Donovan Crabtree, you'll see him go, yeah, that's right. Way to get it. Yeah, you got it. Yeah. Crabtree. That's great. Listen, we got to clean this up, buddy. Right?
Yeah.
We got to clean this up. But not you, we. Right? He'll go to take your hand and he'll put on his chest, we, you, your talent, your money, your gold here at the Velvet. You bring people in, you brighten Chicago, you keep a mood. Don't go hungry, you work for a living, right? Great guy, skilled, talented. Thank you for being here. We, as he'll pull your hand to his chest, we are hardworking, humble people who just have an eye for great talent of this era. And man, do we find it, right? Go on and get out of here. Go for a walk, maybe go around the block, maybe do a set later on if you want. Your call. The night's yours. Enjoy it a little bit.
Slappy like look at the body and then back at Donovan like, so we're good?
We're good. We're family, you and I. Right? Like I said, I signed the check. Would this Crabtree lie to you? No way would we be at odds right now, because I just wouldn't have. That's my speech. I just made you my guy. We just did the ritual. I mean, you got to know that you're in the camp.
Shit, yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, good. Well, before I forget, one little thing. Tiny thing. You hear anything juicy that, your crew gets up to, you got to let me know. It's the only rule.
Yeah, man. What, can I call you Donovan? Should I go Mr. Crabtree?
You can call me D, Donovan, Crabtree, whatever you like.
Yeah, no, I like that. I like calling you D. I got nicknames from my friends, and we're friends now. So, yeah, my crew gets up into anything juicy, you'd be getting a call from old Slap.
Stay being you. Listen, got an idea. He'll reach in the inside pocket of his jacket and he'll pull out what appears to be red lipstick. And he'll pull it out and you'll see him just take your wrist, right? He'll pull your arm out and he'll write on it. It's very feminine what he writes on there. It says over there, Donovan in nice big letters. And he's like, crab tree, and writes down a cell phone number. All right. Now, how this is going to work, when you know something, you tell me what's going on. That builds your credit back here for things like this. Fair?
Hey, that's more than fair, D.
Good. Quality info keeps it good, but you don't get that quality info, I'm going to think that we're not friends no more.
No, and I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want that at all, D. I don't want to hurt my friends.
Hey, we're good. Tell you what, get out of here though, because it's been a while. You know how this gets. This is a mess. I don't know what we're gonna do. I don't know if we're gonna take out a wall and make an excuse, but we're gonna shut this down, get it out. This guy's hysterical girlfriend though. Think you can handle her?
Yeah. I think I can.
All right, it's real simple. All I need you to do is to go take care of wherever their apartment is, and she's there, whatever it is, and just make it look like an accident. Can I count on you for that?
Oh.
Gotcha.
Oh.
Gotcha. Remember, you don't do that. Remember,
I'm the talent. Yeah.
Exactly. You grab your hand again. You are the talent, the future. Everything bright and shiny. We take care of that. All right. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Stay away from that.
Yeah. Slappy's gonna head out like right after that. Like he doesn't want any more gotchas. Like he's fucking dipping.
All right. You turn and you leave, and you head out. To a lot of relief of people, when staff sees you leave, they're like, "Oh, okay." Obviously, they're updating whatever as you're heading for the door. This is not quiet for those in VIP. You see the bartender like, "Oh, okay, Slappy." Oh, the bathroom's open downstairs. Thank God. All right, that's easier. But here's your receipt, man. He'll hand it to you. Whenever you come here and you're hungry, you got to call in advance. Just let us know so we can make sure the booth's available, and you'll get your plan. And I know it sounds weird to say it's a plan, but hey, everybody's got to eat, right?
Right. That's
Only the best
investment. He'll nod to that, and he'll take his receipt, and he'll walk back, and he'll look over at his coterie mates. He's like, "Any word from Slappy?"
Nothing.
Yeah,
It is.
I sent the message and he hasn't responded.
As soon as I got out the door and down the block, though, I would make that phone call to Sullivan.
All right.
Pick up the phone. Sully.
Hey, man. Wild shit. I don't know what you said up there, but you got me out of there. Finally met Mr. Crabtree. Well, we'll call him D now. He got me out of there. Bathroom's clear. Well, not yet. Don't go in. Don't try and go in the bathroom yet. He's taking care of it. But you know what I mean. I left.
Right. Okay. Good. So yeah, we just met up with my friend there, but we should be good. Listen, you need to get cleaned up. Do we have to scoop you up or what?
Nah, man. I'm gonna go all around the block and get myself cleaned up. Probably come back and play a set.
All right. You'll let us know when you get back, right? Send a message to the rest of us.
Yeah. Wellness check.
All right. Yep. That's exactly it. Wellness check. We gotta. Me, Ramsey, and Warren got to figure out what to do about that package at the gate with the pigeons and the people there. I'll keep you updated when we get that settled. You give us a phone call back. All right.
You let me know about that. I'll
do.
help how I can. Appreciate y'all again tonight. Really.
No problem. What a night. I'll see you later, brother. And he'll hang up the phone.
Yep.
And, he'll look to his coterie mates and be like, "It looks like we're done here. We could go home."
Yeah.
But wait. He says go home. A quick check at the watch. It's like just now 10:30.
Uh-huh.
Right? hear the dishes being broke down. They're clearing the tables, probably moving the tables, eventually the chairs. They got to change this over to the dance hall where the blues is going to pick up, and maybe that's why Slappy's coming back to play a set.
He's like, we still got to figure out that situation with the gate and whether or not we may do with it. You know, if that thing was cleaned up, I got to give this guy a call.
If that thing was cleaned up, they're still at the park unless they left, and they're not just gonna leave because we were there.
No, I mean, we still got to pay back that fella at the morgue, don't we?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to make that call. We need to figure out how to make things right. We already owe enough people as it is.
I can call him Sully, but if I were in his shoes, he set the price.
Did you let him know what happened?
Yeah, I'll call him and let him know there were werewolves there that stopped it, and I'm
Whoa,
sure
shh. You don't say that shit too loud, right? Like, you don't want to scare people.
He'll kind of look around and like the. Okay, you're right. You're right, Sully. New rules. I guess, have to break old habits.
Listen, to you, it might be an everyday thing, but around here, we had an issue a couple years ago. People don't want to have to relive that shit. All right.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was wondering what that was about. I guess that makes a little bit more sense. Yeah.
You're right there, Warren?
I'm thinking.
Why? What's up?
I'll tell you about it later.
All right. I mean, night's still young. We still got to figure out what to do with this morgue fellow, and I got to call the Hound and let him know we took care of that issue. Did you know, you'll take a look at Warren, that apparently he's going to help us out with that situation we had at that apartment building with the thing?
No, I didn't know that. It was good to
Apparently
have
he
friends.
knows you too intimately. So that's a thing.
Who does? Neely?
Tally?
Oh, no.
Yeah. Well, listen, we'll figure that shit out a little bit later. Let's start heading back unless you have ideas.
Yeah, let's go.
All right. And with that, we know how it's going to wrap up. I'm assuming you are coming back to play your set there, Bernal.
Yeah, I'm going to definitely go back to play my set. Shit like this is what the blues is all about, and I got to get those emotions out.
So you're going to protect your standing as the baddest blues player in Chicago right now, and you're going to make that happen. As for everybody else, I wait to see what those plans are. But some truth here. You do get circulatory system of 2, DJ, is what that nets you at the moment for your membership in therein. And plus who, well, Neely is vouching for you. That's why you're given the option too. As for Warren and for Ramsey, it is what it is, what you have going on. But we like to call this onion layer number 5,312.
Yeah,
Large,
we
tremendous
are...
onion.
God damn it! I something like this was gonna happen. It was only a matter of time. What's that fucking geese quote? Peace was never an option. You know what I'm talking about? Okay. Yeah.
But thanks anybody who's watching or who watched this when they load up. Hope you had as much fun as we had doing. And we'll catch everybody next time as we go through this again, as we'll try to figure out if, I guess this is called, are we Sabat or not? I'm teasing. We know the situation, right?
Uh-huh.
So we'll catch up. We'll get that going. Thanks, everybody.